Hello everybody, welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube and Twitch channels. We are here on this Tuesday morning, and even though it's the first day of spring, it apparently decided to dump a whole bunch of wet fucking snow all over the place. But hey, it's Canada, and that's what it does. I hope everyone's having a good day, and that you are ready to sit down and have a coffee and have some chat and watch some things, because the screen is shared and I have updated my capture card. So also there will be gameplay that you can see. Isn't that awesome? Note to self, when you haven't had to update your capture card for a bit, check and make sure that there's not a new firmware update before you go live. That's just a pro tip. That's just a pro tip for anybody out there who
Okay, we gotta figure out why there's no notification going out at all. Button. Learn more.
There's no YouTube.
Nothing went out for YouTube at all. I had opened my subscriptions menu and it was there. That was it. Button.
Weird.
Ad reaction.
No notification on YouTube at all. Interesting.
Welcome to Open React 1.
Did you get a Twitch notification?
Ellipsis. Text field. Double tap.
Because I know you have to specifically turn on notifications for Twitch, but it does work when you do that. And now I also have to drink my coffee with my... You know what? No, fuck that. I'm not drinking my coffee with my left hand. I will reach across and drink it with my right.
Now, Pinkalo the driving ape. Happy spring. Ellipsis. The groundhog live. Attachment. Ad reaction.
Because I have designated hands for designated tasks, god damn it. And my drinking hand is my right hand. So even though my coffee is on the left side, I am reaching across
Pinkalo, the ad reaction.
with my right hand.
Moderator. Nothing went out for YouTube at all. Ad reaction. Chat
Silly
message.
me.
Tap.
I know.
Text field.
But I have to use my fork with my left hand and my cane with my left hand, and I have to use my right hand to drink and use a pen. Those are and open doors. I have to open doors with my right hand. It's weird. I have weird fucking designations for hand for specific hand, like, yeah, it's very odd. I cannot use my fork in my right hand at all. I cannot use my cane in my right hand at all. It's very strange. I've tried, and I cannot. My cane technique is absolute garbage when I have my cane in my right hand. I drop my fork when it's in my right hand, and my elbow's all like this, and I'm like, I can't fucking do it. It's weird. My brain just breaks whenever I have to use the hand that, like, the opposite hand. I just can't do it. It's very, very strange. It's very, very strange. But that's just the way I am, I guess. I don't know. Maybe my brain is... Well, it's not a maybe. My brain is broken. My brain is broken. But at least it's not broken enough to pick a fight with Mike Tyson and then back out of the fight with Mike Tyson. At least that is not how broken my brain is. Unlike Jake Paul. Because Jake Paul decided that he was going to pick a fight with Mike Tyson, and now he's not fighting Mike Tyson anymore. And here we're gonna listen to Oompaville tell us about it, and I'm going to add my 2 cents in when appropriate.
Jake
So
Paul
let's see.
has taken over my mind yet again after I saw a video by Jamari, a fellow YouTuber, titled, "It's Finally Over."
But after the Tommy Fury
It's
fight,
finally
the
over.
excitement just has not been there, as Jake had now been defeated and his haters had their quench for his failure met.
I saw that
So, oh, he lost against Tommy Fury? I didn't know that.
And I was like, what's over? And I watched it and I was like, oh, I guess this guy hasn't heard the news.
The fight's gonna be on Netflix? What do you mean by that? Isn't Netflix where you go to watch movies?
No, Netflix, you can watch live events on Netflix.
Chat message input. Chat notification.
Same with Apple TV.
Driving ape. YouTube.com/.
Same with Paramount Plus. Same with literally everything.
Nothing went up ad reaction, but
It was until now. This is the first ever professional live sports event on Netflix.
Jamari's video is a great video. I recommend you check it out. We'll have it linked down below. It goes over why exactly Jamari thinks that Jake Paul's recent events in his career have gone relatively under the radar.
Since then, he has beat up on and knocked people out, but there was really no buzz behind those events. Most recently, he fought this last weekend, and no one cared or really even knew what was going on in the first place.
Yeah, Jake Paul fought last weekend? I had no idea. I had no idea Jake Paul actually had, like, steady fights. I thought he just did fights for, like, pay-per-view events and shit. I didn't realize he was actually, like, a professional boxer.
Something I've been noticing, and something a lot of people online have been noticing. Chronically online losers, like myself. And also, Jake Paul's about to fight Mike Tyson.
You heard it right, mother. I'm fighting Mike Tyson.
Oh my god, is that how he sounds? That's terrifying. He sounds so stupid.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh my god!
I'm gonna hurt myself again. Hello everyone, this is Twister Tang, a new cotton candy flavor of Sour Boys. You know how hard it is to make cotton candy sour? It's just sugar. There's no flavor, it's just sugar. Making cotton candy sour is hard.
Is this
We've done it.
Umpaville's,
Barely. It's very good. It's one of my favorite flavors, honestly. I love cotton
Sponsored?
candy. We still have some Love Bomb. We still have a little bit of Kev's Candy, and that's about it.
Costin!
Ticket winners have been chosen. We are communicating with them, so don't buy any more golden
Did
tickets.
you
They're
get
on
a
the site
YouTube
for it. There will be a
notification,
bag very
Costin?
soon that has been created by...
misspelled word.
Because apparently YouTube is not notifying people. So if YouTube is not notifying people, please share the stream.
the users of Oompaville and the users of sour candy. Anyways, go buy Twister Tang. It'll sell out instantaneously, most likely, I think. There's a high chance because it always does, it seems like. And you guys are always losers. You're always losing out on it and just missing it. Sign up to the email list, watch my YouTube videos, visit sour.gg every Friday and Saturday. Because we don't know when
Sour.gg,
we have
interesting.
a lot of trouble organizing things.
Mm.
All right? And that's a statement of fact. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. It's Twister Tang. It's a new flavor.
So basically, Jake Paul is boxing a senile old man.
I don't know if... I think Mike Tyson could still probably cause some damage.
Chat message and Pink Callow, the driving ape moderator. Oh, it's not his sponsor. This is his company. Sour Boys is his company. But
Oh, Sour Boys is his company. Oh, okay.
chat message input. Chat ellipsis.
Nice.
I don't know why you talk to me like that when you know I'll kill you for it.
That old man is...
Why are you talking to me like that when you
I don't
know
why
I'll
you
kill
talk to
you
me like
for
that when
it?
you know I'll kill you for it.
That old man is one of the greatest boxers of all time. A lot of people say he's
Yeah.
overrated. I say them. They're...
Yeah. Mike Tyson is not overrated. Mike Tyson, I don't think Jake Paul fucking... As much as he does boxing, like, no.
stupid. Have you ever seen the highlights? Holy
Yeah.
God! Somehow Jake Paul is about to fight Mike Tyson on Netflix.
I'll be watching on Netflix.
I'm here. You're gonna see. Yeah, you will be watching. Everyone's gonna be watching.
Let's
Yeah,
talk about
sure.
that. Jake Paul at his peak could mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. He has worn many hats. A lot of creators wear many
Yeah,
hats.
he has.
He has worn a lot of really fucking lame and weird hats.
He really had. I don't, like, can you call Jake Paul a jack of all trades? Because is he really good at any of the things he's done? Like, jack of all trades, you're supposed to at least be good at everything but master of nothing, right? Is he really good at any of the things he's done? Or did he just, like, get get recognition because he's part of the Paul brothers.
His peak for some. Maybe he was wearing the Disney hat and he was a heartthrob.
Yeah, Disney, Jake Paul.
Hey man, let's watch 5 top moments of Dirk on the Disney Channel Africa YouTube channel.
What?
Here we go. Dirk is beaten senseless with 37 pounds of salami.
He may have been.
What the fuck?
Vine. I kind of think that's honestly when he was at his peak. The Vine thing was awesome.
Jake Paul was on Vine?
Yeah.
That's how old Jake fucking Paul is? I was never on Vine, so I have no idea, but...
He's running right now.
Or maybe, for the impressionable young boys watching kick streamers now, his peak was when he was terrorizing people out in Hollywood. Remember that?
Oh, yes.
From hell? Disney Channel star Jake Paul is accused of making life miserable for his neighbors in fancy West Hollywood.
We've done
I'm shocked.
This is the dumbest thing we've ever done.
That was like the Post Malone when he showed up to Post Malone's house. H3H3 was super big time relevant then. Wow, times have changed, guys.
Yeah, back when H3H3 actually did proper what's it called? Commentary. And didn't have ridiculous takes most of the time. and it wasn't an oddity when you agreed with Ethan anymore. Like, because you used to be able to agree with most of the shit Ethan said. And now you're like, holy shit, I'm actually agreeing with something Ethan said. You know, like, it has definitely changed.
You're a savage.
Savage.
I love your music.
Thank you, sir.
And so we were like, yo, we gotta hand deliver him the merch.
Thank you, sir.
Jake Paul is like a snake shedding its skin or a caterpillar undergoing the classic metamorphosis to become a butterfly.
Hey,
But for him,
Mark.
his evolution becomes more and more depraved over time. Or am I thinking about his brother? I don't know.
Yes, I
Logan
think
Paul.
you
The
are.
depravity has kind of ended for Jake Paul when he found his newest calling, and his calling for a while now, which has been combat sports. And honestly, he's been cutting up the rug in combat sports world.
He has been doing pretty well. I'd say out of the hats he's worn and out of the many things that he has done badly at, I think combat sports is probably his best thing.
The problem child.
Oh my god, Jake the problem child,
as
Paul.
Experienced as it gets. Jake has been in the ring 10 times now. 9 wins, 1 loss, 6 of his wins being
Okay, that's
KO.
not bad.
KOs. He actually had a couple good. Dude, he knocked out fucking Tyron Woodley. What the fucking shit, dude?
That's not that. I'll give him credit for that. 9 wins, 6 knockouts. One of them being Tyler Woodley. That's good. Holy shit.
And another guy with the big head. Who's that?
The other guy with the big head.
Fucking huge head. Oh, that guy has a big fucking noggin on him, all right? His boxing journey started way back in 2018, pretty much before YouTuber boxing was cool. Joe Weller, KSI, Deji, they were all kind of fighting on that card, and he beat Deji. He fought him and he won. And he looked all right. Honestly, they all look pretty good. Jake Paul looks like a legit boxer to me, I guess. He doesn't look like Mike Tyson, I tell you what.
No.
Over the 6 years, Jake has gone from influencer boxer to actual
boxer.
He started fighting influencers, and then, like I said, he fought Ben Askren.
He is. Jake, get out. I'm trying to tell you.
And also Tyron Woodley.
Tyron Woodley is a legit fighter. I've watched some UFC fights with Tyron Woodley. He's pretty good. And for Jake Paul to knock him out, that's saying something. That is an achievement. So like I said, Jake Paul is probably, out of all of the things he's tried, boxing is probably the thing he's been most successful at.
They fought not once, but twice. Jake won both. Split decision in the first one and legitimate knockout in the second one, which was awesome. He knocked out Ben Askren, which was great to watch. He fought Anderson the Spider Silva.
Jesus.
And won after
He
going...
beat Silva? That I didn't
somehow
know.
won against Nate Diaz, which that makes sense. Nate Diaz obviously was just in that for a check. Anyways, are you noticing a fucking pattern?
Yeah.
Of course you are, dude. Former UFC champion.
Nate handed him that fight. I think Nate could have very easily beaten Jake Paul. I really do think Nate Diaz could have very, very easily taken Jake Paul out if he wanted to. But he was probably told, just let him win, you'll get paid.
Tyron Woodley, former Olympic wrestler and MMA fighter, I guess. Ben Askren, former MMA champion and star. Anderson Silva, former UFC fighter. Nate Diaz. Honestly, the biggest dog in the whole bunch is Nate Diaz, I'd say.
Yeah.
And Tyron Woodley, also a badass, but Nate is fucking scary. Former.
Yeah.
They're all former. They're all washed up as fuck. Nobody's a real, actual, legitimate boxer. And these are all men that are significantly older than Jake Paul.
This is true. Jake is fighting people who are former, like they're retired, right? He's not fighting current boxers.
Woodley, 38. He's pushing 40. Jake, 24 years old. 14-year age gap. Ben Askren, 36. When he fought Jake, Jake was 9. All right. Just kidding. He was 24 at the time. Anderson Silva, nearly fucking 50. They fought at age 25. 21-year difference. Nate Diaz, 11 years older. He's fighting people who are just worse than him, basically. And with Anderson Silva, it doesn't even count, dude. He hasn't fucking won really since 2012. I mean,
yeah, I think Silva's done.
He popped. Let's be real. Jake also fought a professional boxer, a guy named Andre August, who he knocked out in the first round. A guy 8 years older than him. I really don't know who this fucking
Why
guy
is
This
he
is like
fighting people who are significantly older and closer to the end or after the end of their careers?
Lose on purpose to get just so you can just get paid or whatever. That's what I would do if I was a boxer. If any YouTubers want to box me and then I'll just fall on purpose, I'd love to do that. And this guy's got some wins and stuff, you know. He's a pro boxer.
I totally would do that, especially if I was like Nate Diaz. I was like, wait, I just gotta go show up and get hit by some dumbass for thousands of dollars. Okay.
10-2. One of his losses is Jake Paul. I mean, you know, that's not terrible. I've never fucking heard of a single one of these people. So Jake's fighting old people, basically. He's not irrelevant. I said he was irrelevant a moment ago. I'm going to rephrase that. He's completely irrelevant. He fought Nate Diaz. That is baller as fuck.
I don't know if that's...
talking to the crowd. This is the antics you get with a Nate Diaz fight, and if you're Jake, you can't fall into it.
But it's just like... Obviously, it's just like a fucking pride. It's like, I don't know, it's some fucking weird spectacle thing.
Yeah.
It's not like a real, it's not a real boxing career.
No, it's not. It's not it's totally for optics. It is not a real boxing career.
The only time Jake has ever fought in a real boxing fight, he lost to Tommy Fury, the nephew of Tyson Fury, one of the greatest boxers of all time.
Oh, he lost to Tommy Fury. Okay.
Tommy!
And really handsome guy. Legit boxer. Very handsome guy. He's really handsome. That's
is he handsome, Oompa? I don't know.
Fucking handsome. It really comes down to Jake just likes fighting old people, I guess, for money.
I guess so. He likes to. He's ageist. He likes to beat up on old people.
It's pretty fucking funny. People are really starting to notice too.
Mean
Take
Jake.
This guy, for example, for real win. My cousin Tommy Fury will never be the man my cousin Tyson or Andy is, but I know he would knock the block off Jake. So
Jesus Christ.
When the fuck is Jake going to fight someone who isn't an ex-MMA or basketball or what have you fighter who is in his 20s or early 30s?
Right.
He almost got beat by close to a 50-year-old. This is becoming a joke now. Get it on, Jake, with someone your own age and a real boxer.
Thank you. Thank you very much for stating the obvious. Jake needs an actual real fight if he's gonna be legit.
He did, and also he lost.
The winner by split decision, Tommy!
It is hilarious.
The winner by split decision.
He's made a ton of money off
that
boxing,
sucks.
and he hasn't had to actually. He's never had to actually box people.
No.
Oh my god, he only fights old dudes. And it's not even an allegation at this point. He just
it's literally
legitimately
true.
Fights old people.
That's his thing. He beats up on old, washed out fighters and then calls himself a fighter. That's literally what he does. He beats up on older, washed out, retired fighters and then goes, "Look how good I am, guys."
I want to see him fight KSI. That's what I want to fucking see. If we're going to watch two goofballs fight, I want to see him fight KSI. And we all know who Jake Paul is, by the way. He's a pretty popular dude. You think when he'd fight on pay-per-view events, they would do extremely well.
You would
he
think.
had one fight recently and a couple fights recently that have not exactly done that well, even though they've been sponsored
everybody's...
by Prime. My favorite sucralose.
Ha!
It seems like Jake Paul's career has progressed.
Prime Energy sponsored it, and they still couldn't get a viewership going when everybody and their dog wants Prime.
Aggressively lost steam, and I know that's ironic because I opened this video up with saying he's about to fight Mike Tyson. But genuinely, less people have purchased pay-per-views for Jake. It's just a fact. Most pay-per-views he ever sold, allegedly, was with his fight versus Ben Askren. They sold apparently 1.5 million pay-per-views, which is fucking insane.
But was that because of him, or was it because of the person he was fighting?
Calculation of how much money that is, editors. Please, thank you. I love you all so much. The Tyron Woodley fight only sold 500,000 pay-per-views.
Ouch.
Still a lot, but I would rather... I watched that one. I didn't watch Ben Askren. I don't fucking care about old Mask. The rematch between Jake and Tyron Woodley was shockingly poor with only 65,000 pay-per-view buys. That seems like when he really lost all of his steam. Usually rematches do pretty well.
65,000 buys? That's it? That is
insane. The pay-per-view buys for the Jake and Anderson Silva fight were also down, especially for a first-time fight compared to the others. It's kind of crazy. Jake said on Impulsive that it only reached about 200,000-300,000 buys, and he was disappointed by that number, which is fair. He should be.
Yeah, I would be too.
How many pay-per-view buys it got yet?
That's very low, especially for freaking Anderson Silva. A lot of people still like Anderson Silva.
Oh, I think it'll probably go around like
that's crazy.
200,000, which is kind of upsetting, but
that isn't enough money for me. I don't get out of bed for less than $200. Jake would later speculate that this was caused by Anderson Silva saying he'd been knocked out in training and that the fight was in jeopardy, so pre-buys tanked, I guess. Fucking EA game style. I have no idea. Pre-orders were down.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think the general
I don't know if I believe that.
Sees that and is like, oh, it's not happening. Tommy pulled out. Hasim pulled out. Oh, Jake fucking Paul can't get an event together. This is done.
Dude, guess what? We don't care. All right.
No.
I will say, about to drop a bombshell, I like Jake Paul more than Logan Paul. Anyways, let's.
I will agree to that. I don't like them, either of them really, but if I had to choose which one I liked or which one I disliked less, I would have to say it's Jake Paul.
Let's move on. Jake's fight versus the Stockton Slapper sold about 450,000 pay-per-view sales, so it went up a little bit again, but overall,
still pretty
it's a big
low.
L for him, I think, right? It's a big, huge fucking L. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. This is so much money. Realistically speaking, and asking people in the real world who are not chronically online like myself, they only knew that he fought against Nate Diaz. People who are into combat sports, I should be clear. They heard about the Nate fight and the first Tyron Woodley fight because it's like
that's
ex-world
literally all they
shit.
would have cared about.
Like who? Oh,
they,
Dirk from the Disney Channel? Oh.
Yeah, they wouldn't have cared. It really, like, if you're not an internet person, you're not really gonna know who Jake Paul is.
I love him! No, you don't. You don't love Dirk. All right, Dirk is a bad name. Okay, if your name is Dirk, comment down below. I'm sorry.
If your name is
Dirk. Seems like there's been a bit of a lull in his career. Old Jake has fought a couple people, Andre August and a guy named Ryan Borland. He's a guy I don't really know.
I have no idea who that is.
Gold glove champion. And he's a huge champion, and he fought him. His name is Ryan Borland, former Gold Glove.
Is he any relation to West Borland?
Of champion. Awesome. The age gap for this one wasn't as big though. Ryan's only 35, 8-year difference.
Oh wow.
He was significantly out of practice. He hadn't fought in fucking 2 years. That's crazy.
Oh Jesus.
4 years.
Fucking ring rust to hell.
I don't know
Holy
what
shit.
the hell's going on here. What is he doing this? So this fellow Ryan had chosen a completely different career path in 2018. He got into the oil industry.
Borland is originally from the Bay Area of California, but decided to come out to North Dakota 5 years ago to work in the oil industry.
Okay, so he's an oil man, an oil rigger. but he's also a boxer.
He's completely disconnected with boxing. He only rekindled his passion when he realized that there was a gym nearby where he could train again.
After a few years, Borland discovered Dominion Boxing, rekindling a fire for a sport that has dominated his life.
He took a fight against a fellow named Santario Martin in 2022, 4 years after retiring, and he won that shit. Beat the snot out of him. You can see footage of this fellow Ryan fighting, and he just looks casual. He looks like a pretty, I mean, he looks good, right? He looks good and tight, a little soft, casual kind of thing. It's a stark contrast to the way that Jake Paul portrays himself with his training. When Jake and this...
Interesting. So oops, I almost called him Wes Borland again. This Ryan Borland guy, like, actually retired and started fighting again in a gym, and
this fellow
so
Ryan
this is
finally
who
fought.
Jake
It was
took on.
short-lived. It was a 4-minute fight. I, like most people,
4-minute
completely
fight.
lost interest in Jake Paul's fighting career until Mike Tyson's name is thrown into the ring. And that was because of Jake's seeming refusal to fight people who are good,
young and his
like,
age, and
actual competitive boxers. Like, he's fighting old people for money, and then he's like, his real career is just all tune-ups.
This is seriously like, almost like a circus act. You know, come see the man beat up the old people. Come see the man beat up the old people. Step right up.
It's all tune-up fights. All people who suck, who are in the oil industry. But guys, as you probably could tell by the title of this video and what the fuck I've been saying, Jake Paul has finally found the ultimate amalgamation of old and a prolific fighter. And that is Mike Tyson, someone who also has no idea when the fuck to quit.
Someone who could literally probably kill him with one punch.
Like fornicate more than other people. It's just who I am. I sacrificed so much of my life.
I sacrificed so much of my life. Oh my god, I can't take that voice seriously. God damn it, Mike.
Get laid.
It's perhaps Jake Paul's greatest matchup to date. Our tale of the tape. In the blue corner, you've got Jake Paul. In the red corner, you've got one of the greatest boxers of all time.
You know what I mean? I've been robbed of most of my money. Can I at least get a blowjob?
But also,
Jesus Christ,
really
Mike.
Fucking old man who's been punched in the head so many times. He's
literally so many times. He has no filter. He just says whatever the fuck is on his mind, as referenced by those two clips we just heard.
He still looks good in training. I'm fucking scared for Jake Paul. I am interested in it. I have a Netflix subscription already. I'm going to watch this for sure.
Oh yeah.
Regardless of how you feel about this.
Jake Paul is
Jake Paul also
going to get his ass kicked
a while ago, a couple years ago. My boxing bucket list: Canelo Alvarez, Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson Fury.
Wow.
Dana White. Oh, that's
Dana
really,
White.
I would love to see him fight Dana White.
You want to fight Dana White? Does Dana even know how to fight?
Actually, that'd be funny. So it's time for Jake Paul to shock the world with his expert boxing skills and show us just how good he is fighting the champions of our time, or of their time, the 80s. The literal fucking 80s. Jake Paul's a pretty good fighter, but he's definitely not a champion of his time for fucking sure. But he's 60 years old nearly. He's quite literally twice the age.
Yeah.
Almost twice
Mike
the
Tyson
age of
is Mike Tyson could be Jake Paul's father. That is how old Mike Tyson is old enough to be Jake Paul's dad. He'll just whisper sweet nothings in your ear like he did with Holyfield. That's funny.
Jake Paul. That's not very impressive or tough. To me, fighting a 57-year-old man. That being said, his training footage does look fucking scary, though. To be honest, I'm scared looking at it. It scares me a lot. He's just...
Well, yeah, because he may be 57, but he's a fucking champion. A multiple champion who also spent time in jail. So, You might want to, like, not fight him, Jake.
Scary guy. So we have the illusion of Mike Tyson in his prime. He was a scary motherfucker, incredibly impressive, and quite literally an animal in the form of a human being in the ring. But he's still 57 years old. Tyson was a bad motherfucker.
I mean, you could hear those punches clear out to the parking lot.
He also isn't afraid to take chunks out of his opponent with things other than his fists. Notice Pinkalo's Holyfield comment.
Couldn't figure out whether Nelson was there to fight or to give a lesson in survival tactics. Anyway, Tyson finally got to him in the second, setting him up with a sweet overhand right, then taking him out with a vicious left.
Tyson went to prison in 1992. He was convicted of rape in Indiana. He was sentenced to 6 years in prison and 4 years in probation, but he was released early in 1995. And then, obviously, he returned to the boxing world and fought against a fellow named Peter McNeely.
Fighting out of the blue corner, entering the ring wearing green trunks with white trim, and hailing from Medfield, Massachusetts.
And this is the scariest shit you'll ever see.
Where is he gonna show the Holyfield clip?
Fresh out of prison, he looks scary. He's fucking staring an old poor guy, and his name is Peter. His name is literally Peter, and this guy's looking at him like this. Nobody named Peter is scary, okay? Tyson looked hungry, extremely hungry, and it's true, he was. This is fucking scary, dude. After only a few minutes into the first round, he basically gives up. They get to squash.
Peter's like, I can't do this anymore.
Awesome. You can see them kind of celebrating because Tyson didn't actually murder a man.
Yay! I'm alive! I didn't die! Poor Peter McNeely. Could you imagine? There would have been nobody who would have wanted to beat Mike Tyson's after prison return to the boxing ring fight. Could you, like, that would have been the shittiest luck of the draw.
They want Tyson to go to the neutral corner. What's going on? The round
Just straight up brain damage for a check. Like, legitimately brain damage for a check. That is so crazy. And that's when he's 10 years older than Jake Paul. By the way, if you don't know about Mike Tyson, you should learn about him, okay? Any of the great sports guys, I recommend learning. Their stories are interesting. They're full of strife and
very
tales
much
of
so.
challenge. You know, I mean, he fucking went to prison for rape. That's terrible. That's fucked up and horrible and evil. It's an interesting situation. I'm not one to preach about it. But if you were alive at the time, I was 1 year old. In 97, Mike Tyson had his grandest brawl.
Jesus Christ, he was 1 year old in 97. Oh my God. I hate this. How am I older than most of these people?
Ever. The historical moment in which he fought Evander Holyfield and bit his fucking ear off.
Yes. Because apparently, when you're boxing, you bite people.
Insane. He bit a chunk of his ear off. Police rush the stage. They're fighting each other. They're beating the snot out of each other. Dude, what? And now they're fucking friends? It was the poor guy, Evander Holyfield.
Mike Tyson is a power hitter. He can't go more than 3 rounds, but he is... Oh, he's Satan.
He's not a poor guy. He's a fucking giant beast himself. Being in a cage with an animal, the equivalent of a lion who, when frustrated that he can't land solid, significant strikes,
will
fucking
bite you.
On testosterone, going through a bloodlust, will bite a man's ear off. That's scary, dude.
Yeah, seriously? What's gonna happen if he can't get a hit on Jake? Is he gonna do? Bite him? I hope so.
Police were even scared. Look at this. They're like, oh God! Look, there's Conan O'Brien. What the fuck?
Do we have to break this up? Can we just let them kill each other?
Will cause a fight to stop. It is an incredibly interesting life this man has lived. If you don't know a lot about boxing, and you've probably heard of Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali recognized the greatness that is Mike Tyson, and not greatness as in good. Obviously, there's an incredibly checkered past. Anyway, his legacy is ridiculous. 50 wins, 6 losses. 44 of those 50 being knockouts.
44 knockouts out of 50. Oh my God. I did not know that about Mike Tyson. That is insane. Make her read anime words. No, please don't make me read anime words. Voiceover won't pronounce them right.
Crazy. And now 50-year-old Mike Tyson has fallen off so hard he's fighting Jake Paul. Just kidding, he's not fallen off. He's a cute old man. From what we know so far, I'm not sure if this is
cute
fucking
old
true.
man.
This is what we found online. Jake Paul gets to wear headgear.
First rule is for Paul's own safety. He'll be able to wear headgear like an amateur boxer, but...
What? No! Come on! Let Mike hit Jake in the head! Come on! No fucking headgear for this shit.
Gets to wear headgear.
First rule is for Paul's own safety. He'll be able to wear headgear like an amateur boxer, but Tyson won't be wearing any of that. That gives Paul a chance to knock Tyson out, but with his headgear, Jake Paul won't get knocked out and won't get badly injured.
That is so fucking not fair. Why does Jake get to not have the worry of Mike Tyson punching him as hard as he can?
Also, guess what? Not only that, he can fucking tag team Logan Paul and use stratagems. That's not fair.
Because he'll be able to bring Logan in, and they'll both be able to fight at the same time.
No.
What the fuck? You guys are so... Okay, you're so fucking terrified of this 57-year-old multi-champion that you, first of all, have to wear headgear, and second of all, you need help? You're fucking pathetic, dude.
No way.
Just don't fight.
As per the contract.
This fight is supposed to be fought at 165, meaning Tyson will need to pass this weigh-in, but Jake Paul won't weigh in, so he could be as heavy as he wants to be.
No drug test.
What?
As per the contract, only for Jake.
Won't weigh in, so he could supposed to be fought at 165, meaning Tyson will need to pass this weigh-in, but Jake Paul won't weigh in, so he could be as heavy as he wants to be.
No.
Okay, no. If I was Tyson, I would be like, fuck this shit. I'm not fighting this shit. I don't care how much the money is. This is not a fucking fight. This is a fucking, this is fucking basically a gimme. This is a gimme. This is bullshit. What a pussy.
No drug tests as per the contract. Only for Jake. Mike Tyson gets drug tested. Of course.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Drug test Mike, not Jake. Weigh in Mike, not Jake. No headgear for Mike, but for Jake. Jake gets a partner who gets to fight with him at the exact same time. Wow.
First, Mike Tyson's on fucking testosterone. He's 57 years old. Now, to be very clear, I've been saying as per the contract, I don't actually know if any of this is true.
This will just keep his skull from being
I really don't. I'm not
imploded
even
into
gonna look
his
at
brain.
it. I've heard from people, and I really want it to be true. I assume they're actually going to fight. It's going to be mano-a-mano. None of them are going to wear headgear. There's no stratagems, believe it or not. I threw some fake ones in there so you guys would know that I was joking, but we'll see. Jake Paul says all this shit is rumors, which it probably is, but it will be a good fight. This will be an absolutely entertaining fight, and I'm excited to see how this ends up. I mean, this is the most relevant Jake Paul's ever been in my mind, and I'm absolutely rooting against him.
Oh, me too. Me too. I hope Mike Tyson fucking rocks Jake Paul and Jake Paul realizes he's not a real boxer.
To God, he can actually tag team Logan Paul. The comments on anything Jake Tyson are very funny. The final rule is that if Jake Paul finds himself in trouble, he can call in an AC-130 to call in Boeing. Boeing. We love Boeing. Last rule is Jake gets to use a firearm of his choice during the match. Another rule is Tyson has to box with one arm tied behind his back. Here's some footage of Jake training for his match, which is pretty awesome. So I'm not really sure how everybody else feels about this, but Mike Tyson, 57 years old, probably always on mushrooms and so much weed. With all the hits to the head, let's just round it up to say he's 104. 104-year-old boxer versus a 27-year-old man from Ohio.
I'm still rooting for Mike. As much as he's been like brain damaged and as much as he's probably on a lot of different drugs, I am so rooting for Mike.
Okay? I feel like that's not a fair matchup. But at the same time, we've seen
He'll be hauling him off in a
training. We've
bucket.
seen
Yeah.
Iron Mike training. It doesn't seem fair, but at the same time, you know, I don't know, man. Is Tyson gonna take a tumble for some money? I don't fucking think so.
No.
I don't think he can take a tumble. I don't know.
Tyson is not gonna dive. There's no way. Tyson will never. No.
Second, I'm excited to read the comments though for this video. I'm very, very, very excited. Eddie Hearn, who is a extremely well-respected name and voice in the boxing world, says he shouldn't have to do this, but it is the world we live in. It's a joke, by the way. Everybody hates Eddie Hearn. In a vacuum, Jake Paul is going to beat up an old man to gain credibility, which is really embarrassing. So what are they saying about this? What's Jake saying about this? What the fuck's Mike saying about this? He's the greatest heavyweight of all time. The most vicious KO artist ever. But I'm younger, I'm faster, and I'm going...
Pinkalo says, I watched a couple of training videos from Tyson last week. And they're recent. Yeah, it's gonna be funny. Yeah, I think we need to get a Netflix card and watch this fight, honey. This is gonna be good.
Asshole out. Off to get stronger. A member of my team sent me this video that Mike's coach put up 2 weeks ago and asked me if I'm sure that I want to. He got community noted. It's 4 years old. It's 4 years old. In case you were wondering what Mike Tyson said in reaction to this, he has a reaction channel. He said easy fight. Look at that. That's so funny looking. Look at Joe Rogan. So funny, bro. Jake Paul released a video.
You know what would be great? Is if Joe Rogan commentates this fight.
On his channel, kind of like mocking Mike and his antics, his impregnable antics.
You heard it right, mother. I'm fighting Mike Tyson.
I mean, at the end of all this, I think it's a death sentence for Jake Paul. I think Jake Paul is going to get killed. I think he's going to get knocked out, and he'll never be able to live this down because he's going to get knocked out by a 57-year-old man.
He's going to get knocked out by a 57-year-old man, and it's going to happen very fast because Mike isn't going to put up with any fucking bullshit. He's just going to come in and just... He's just going to decimate him. He's going to need like 1 or 2 punches. And that's going to be it. Because Jake, like, even as a old retired man, Mike is a boxer through and through, right? So he knows the way to punch, and like Duck Dog said, he's a power hitter. He will fuck Jake up.
And I'm gonna hope and pray, and I'm gonna start sports betting, I think. Honestly, I'm betting all on Mike Tyson in this one, for real.
You're mad at me for fighting Mike Tyson? Imagine this.
Jake, we got the biggest deal ever. You versus Mike Tyson. Live on Netflix. You're gonna entertain millions of people and make an unbelievable amount of money. What do you think?
It's such an embarrassing video, dude. Such an embarrassing video. He seems like such a douche. Overall,
he
is a massive lose-lose for everyone involved, especially Mike. If Mike loses, it's just sad. If Jake loses, it's only a lose if Mike loses.
It really is. That's the only way it's a lose. Is if Mike actually loses. That's the only way this is a lose.
The like button if you want Mike Tyson to punch Jake Paul's head clean off his body. And then maybe we can also ask the question, do you think Jake will ever fight someone his own age, or a prolific fighter, rather his own age? Was losing to Tommy Fury enough to scare him into never actually fighting anyone his own age that is also a prolific fighter? And to make him only accept fights where the person he's fighting against is twice as old as him and incredibly past their prime? Maybe. I don't really know. It's like a weird pipe dream thing. Mike hasn't fought professionally since 2005, and he didn't look that good fighting Roy Jones Jr. Because Jake actually fought on the card the last time Tyson fought against Roy Jones Jr.
Who did?
Because Jake actually fought on the card the last time Tyson fought against Roy Jones Jr.
Wow.
He fought a fucking basketball player. Pretty awesome. Anyways,
that's
thanks for
funny.
watching, fuckheads. Jake
Paul. That's funny. That is very, very funny. It's just past the 60th anniversary. Jesus Christ. It's just past the 60th anniversary of Ali beating Liston. Oh, shit. Ali was another great boxer. See, I like the combat sports stuff, and MMA is, if you have the right commentator, it's great. It's a great sport for blind people to listen to because it's got the commentary, and it's great. So I really enjoy the oh good. Okay. I was afraid I accidentally hit the enter key, which will end the stream. But yeah, I really enjoy combat sports, and if you have the right commentator, it's a great thing for blind people to enjoy because of the commentary. But then if you get people focused on stats instead of what's going on in front of you, then it's kind of annoying. But it's a good, I think it's a good thing for blind people to listen to. It's better than like hockey. Hockey's hard to follow. Hockey is really hard to follow because it's so goddamn fast. It is so goddamn fast. It's hard for the commentators to properly commentate hockey, let alone people listening to it. So, here we are. Apparently, I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but BetterHelp sponsorships are back. And BetterHelp is still not really helping anybody. I don't know if anybody remembers the scandal from 2018 where a bunch of YouTubers were taking sponsorships from BetterHelp, and then they realized how much of a scam they were. Well, it's back. And they're still scamming the crap out of people. So this is a video from Soggy Cereal, and he's going to show us just how fucked up it is.
Hey, my bowl of cereal, better help yourself to a seat and some cereal, because today we're in for a wild ride. Sponsorships, they're everywhere these days.
Yep.
They're in your closet.
This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Raid is one of the most
They're in your closet.
They're in your backyard.
Go to establishedtitles.com/Calvin.
They're in your backyard.
Cereal. And I'm completely fine with that. But I don't mind creators promoting a brand deal if that means that they can give me better content. But there is one service, one company which has clawed its way back from the depths it was cast into 6 years ago.
Yeah, I can't believe it's been 6 years. And that's the thing, sponsorships help creators, right? They help creators make money, and they also can give some pretty cool deals to the audience. So sponsorships aren't inherently a bad thing.
A company that seemingly caused most of my favorite YouTubers to experience a memory blackout and forgot all about their first scandal back in 2018, and that is BetterHelp. BetterHelp? BetterHelp me not get a cease and desist letter from their lawyers after I release this video.
Oh shit. Seriously? That's insane.
Like other YouTubers have.
This company hired, I'm assuming, very expensive lawyers. I got a very strongly worded cease and desist letter from BetterHelp.
For the people who
don't don't talk about us and how we're scamming people, or our lawyers will come after you.
6 years, and I appreciate that. Because today, almost every creator is sponsored by it, even the ones I love. Mr. Ballin, The Try Guys, Jax Films, Nick Crawley, Jubilee, and so many more.
Everybody's sponsored by them, that's crazy.
Therapy service. They promise easily accessible therapy with licensed therapists for an arguably cheap price.
See, but are they, because back when we first heard about this, the therapists weren't licensed, weren't background checked, weren't checked if they were qualified, any of this.
They're like Fiverr, but for mental health.
They're like Fiverr, but for mental health.
If that sounds like a terrible idea to you, don't worry.
It is.
The company has been in scandal after scandal after scandal for the past 6 years. Some of you might remember that back in 2018, countless of creators were also being sponsored by BetterHelp.
Yep.
Until their first
Philip
scandal.
DeFranco.
Remember when I mentioned that they promised licensed therapists? Well, in 2018, the only license they had was for being stinky little liars.
This guy's kind of funny. He's got I like the the sound effects he puts into this video, cuz this is a serious topic, but he's trying to make it a bit more fun and palatable. Let's see. The old Leafs commentator did a good job. Same with Dale Arnold. I liked the old 1990s French commentators for the Habs games. They were good. They were really good. There's nothing like watching a Habs game in French. It's awesome.
Affordable and private online therapy with a professional. They don't guarantee the verification of the skills, degrees, qualifications, certification, credentials, competence, or background.
Oh, good.
Counselor.
So they don't do any fucking shit. They're like, oh yeah, you wanna work for us? Cool, you're hired.
Your responsibility to determine whether they have any degree or qualification or certification.
But once this came to light, everyone started dropping BetterHelp.
No shit.
I was one of the disgusting YouTubers.
There's
did a
Jack's
BetterHelp
Films.
promotion, and this was before I knew any of the, you know, the controversy.
Better help yourself out of this PR disaster.
Ooh dear.
Which they have, because they're back now.
BetterHelp.
Yeah, they lied. They lied their way back into sponsorship. That's what they did. They're like, no, we're fine now. We have licensed therapists and everything. We're good now. We did a good thing.
Worse than ever. In the past few months, many of my favorite creators have been pushing BetterHelp again. And as naive as I could be, I thought, I mean, BetterHelp might have improved themselves. Their first scandal did happen 6 years ago. And I did read that they now do only use licensed therapists.
Yay! They're doing what they should be doing.
The videos that they were sponsoring. Quick reminder about BetterHelp's controversial past and also how they're selling your information to advertisers.
Oh shit! That's never good. The video audio is a little low. Okay, hold on. I know exactly what to do here. Do 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 do.
Messages now +1 5 1 2 8 9 and read chat message input chat and link follow the driving is moderator and chat message input.
Let's try that.
Please don't take BetterHelp's money. They do more harm than good. I really wish you wouldn't continue advertising BetterHelp. They sold mental health data for marketing without anonymizing it for massive profits.
Lovely.
Screw you, random comments. Because Alan Matas, the co-founder of BetterHelp, ensured me.
Oh, that seems better.
They never do anything as crazy as secretly sell private mental health data from their users.
Oh, never, never.
Conspiracy and the gross violation of federal laws, state laws, HIPAA regulations, and their own terms and privacy policy.
Ah, fuck HIPAA regulations and their own TOS. What does that matter? They've got data to sell and money to make. Come on.
Which is why they were fined $7.8 million by the FTC last year for doing exactly that. Yeah,
$7.8 million. Holy shit.
Sharing private mental health data of their users, as well as their IP addresses, email address, with companies like Facebook and Snapchat. This mental health included answers to very personal questions such as sexual orientation, specific reasons for wanting therapy, possible eating disorders, and so much more. Of course, when they were asking those questions of their users, they ensured them that they wouldn't be sharing this at all.
Oh, of course! They just want it for the therapy sessions, you know? They just want it for the therapists, so that the therapists know. That's all. Entrance of the Gladiators classic.
Except with their therapist, of course. Yeah. Oh boy, can't wait what ads Facebook is gonna show me now that they think I'm an anxious, unemployed, widowed, bisexual, experiencing eating disorders and daddy issues.
Oh boy! Facebook ads!
An ad for BetterHelp?
Oh man!
And those are just...
It's so true! And BetterHelp, and you know what's fucked up is, you know, this is how you know Google fucking also sells your shit. Cause I was searching like mental health shit up in my area of where I'm living a couple months back, and now I get BetterHelp ads in my Facebook feed. Isn't that amazing?
Just the lies they were caught on so far. And I mean, they've been lying about these ones for years. But you know, poor startup multi-billion
yeah, the poor rich company. They don't know what.
It's not their fault that they try to abuse goodwill of their users for
oh, of course not.
Gain. So let's give them a chance and actually check out their services. And who better to check it out than someone with a master's degree in psychology who is giving therapy right now? My girlfriend.
Yay! He actually has someone who knows what the fuck they're talking about. Right on call here.
So I already told you about BetterHelp and how great of a company they are.
Yeah.
Well, since I'm just a dumb content creator and
I
you're a literal
love the sound
master's
effects.
degree in psychology, I would like you to talk about the services BetterHelp provides their users. I mean, look at all these beautiful green BetterHelp check marks.
Oh yes, lovely check
sessions
marks.
Have all these red crosses. You know, unlike in-office therapy, BetterHelp has messaging at any time, chat sessions, video sessions, phone sessions.
I mean, most in-office therapists have phones and laptops.
Right? I can do phone sessions or video sessions or in-office sessions with my therapist.
As well?
No, they don't. Well, you might have a master's degree, but I'm pretty sure you haven't learned how to message at any time.
I mean, I don't think the BetterHelp therapists are going to answer 24/7. They have
I should hope not.
And we as therapists want the client to be able to process what they learned and not text us 24/7.
I knew, so my ex, her mom was a therapist, and she was one of those, you can call me any time of day or night therapists, and she had some really crazy people that they were not growing because they could literally call her any time of day or night, and she would be on the phone with them and, like, listen to their crazy bullshit for hours. And it was like, what are you doing? This is not therapy. This is like some weird codependent shit.
Because then you're not gonna grow as a person.
No.
I think you're wrong. Wait, so you dare say that BetterHelp's perks are actually not perks? They're creps?
That is really stupid. Thank you. Thank you, his girlfriend, for saying that. That was very stupid.
What does that even mean?
Well, either they're talking about switching telecom providers to switch providers.
Easy to switch provider.
They're talking about switching telecom providers, but I'm pretty sure they're referring to easily being able to switch therapists.
I mean, in-office therapists can be changed.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
We all know you're assigned an in-office therapist at birth and for the rest of your life.
I love that. You're assigned an in-office therapist at birth.
Yeah.
Jokes aside, my in-office therapist had basically all of these services. I mean, I could text her whenever, I could mail her. When I had to move abroad to Sweden, we just did video call therapy for 4 months. So this deceitful chart should actually look like this. Okay, so can you guess how much they dare ask for this?
It's supposed to be cheaper than in-office therapy, right? So, $120.
$300!
Holy fuck! $300?
sorry.
A month?
Specifically $260 to $360 a month.
Holy fuck! That's insane! That is an insane amount of
Depending
money.
on location, preferences, and therapist availability. Do you know how much I paid for my 2 60-minute sessions for in-office therapy a month?
$130.
$130 a month. So that is $65 a session. That's not bad. $65 for an hour of therapy? That is very reasonable, actually.
Who the fuck is this service even for? You know what? We shouldn't be judging the BetterHelp platform without having tried it.
Yeah, no.
We're not paying for. Yeah, we don't have $300 laying around. No, there are enough horror stories on TikTok where they share what
God,
no one will ever have to experience in therapy. So you want?
I honestly have never come across the BetterHelp stories on TikTok. That's something I might want to look for.
TikToks?
No, says his girlfriend.
I did BetterHelp for about 3 weeks, and the straw that broke my back was when the therapist was in office for the first time. The last time was in her living room. And I was
good.
I believe no one else is there. As I log onto the video, she's talking to someone, and then just stops talking. It's like, hey, how are you? So let's get started. I'm like, someone is in there. She gets up, walks out an open door, meaning
lovely.
Goes into the lounge of like the office, makes popcorn.
What the fuck?
While I'm talking.
Could you imagine? Just you're trying to like get shit off your chest and get strategies to help you, and your therapist just walks away from the computer and starts making a snack.
And then comes back.
Just like, what the fuck?
Eating popcorn with her mouth full, just chewing. What?
That's crazy.
Wait, was I supposed to react to something?
How many years do you think it's going to be before we see a true crime documentary about BetterHelp?
So I tried BetterHelp.
That's a very good question.
I actually got a refund from them. So my first therapist.
That is a very good question. How many actual psychopaths work for BetterHelp? And yeah.
Years do you think it's going to be before we see a true crime documentary about BetterHelp?
So I tried BetterHelp twice. I actually got a refund from them. So my first therapist was 10 minutes late to our 10-minute meeting, our first meeting. And then she was like, oh, wow, we don't have a lot of time. I contacted them and I got a different therapist. He was also late and just completely missed our first meeting. We set a second one. He missed that one. And then he just texted like, oh, man, I'm so sorry. I was at my other job. And I was...
Your other job? What is this, like an Uber, a side gig for you? Oh, I have a main job, but I also do BetterHelp on the side.
Just like, what?
Wait, didn't they advertise in-office therapy being bad because they have waiting times? With in-office therapy, you've got to spend time in their waiting rooms. With BetterHelp, you can save that time and spend it in our waiting rooms.
Yeah!
And in my first meeting, they're like, well, what are you struggling with? And I tell them I have an anxiety disorder, a panic disorder, and I'm dealing with depression. To which he goes, I don't think you really have those disorders. It's just society's fault because right now they're oppressing men. You can't go out and compliment a woman without becoming a sex offender. Now, I'm just gobsmacked by that.
What kind of fucking MGTOW incel bullshit is this that your therapist is spouting at you?
What? But he continues down this tangent. And then he goes, well, and you're also a straight white man, so of course you're the reason that everything in the world is bad. When you look at history and think about it, we're really the saviors of the world.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. What? Seriously, what kind of nonsense bullshit is this therapist pulling here?
Yeah, I closed the laptop after that, and I was done. Don't do BetterHelp.
Imagine paying like $300 a month just to get assigned to Andrew Tate with a
Right?
psychology degree. Look, I'm not saying
What
that
the
BetterHelp
fuck is
never
that?
helped anyone. I mean, that would be crazy. There have been people who said that their platform actually improved their mental health enormously. But with the countless horror stories and their shady practices, I don't know if the goods outweigh the bad.
I would
There are
say they
also
don't.
endless articles of how poorly and disrespectful their therapists are being treated. It's truly just a mess for both therapists and clients.
I wonder how much money the therapists are actually getting paid and how much money the BetterHelp platform is actually just taking out of those monthly payments from people.
Some links in the description if you want to read up on that. Again, I don't think YouTubers have to only advertise the greatest of products. However, when a company with such a shady and deceitful past tries to sell something as important as a mental health service, that in my opinion is both overpriced and sucks, yeah, well, that should be called out, and
Yes,
I think creators should
absolutely
be informed. So if you know anyone that still does BetterHelp sponsorships, you can just show them this video. And if you ever think of paying for BetterHelp, go instead seek
BetterHelp.
Yeah, that was my last pun, I promise. BetterHelp, more like better help me get 1,000 followers on Instagram.com/thesoggiest.cereal, link in the description. I mean, if you enjoyed this video, you better help me out by subscribing to my channel and watching some of my other videos to become part of my cereal bowl, so we can become the largest cereal bowl on YouTube, and I can absorb all of your fibers and nutrients.
That's kind of gay. Sorry, soggy cereal. Kind of gay. All right. I agree. I think YouTubers should do due diligence before they accept a sponsorship. This is what I used to say when I was covering Molly Burke, and she would always have these sponsors that were inaccessible for independent blind people. And it was very obvious that that was one of her tells, that she was not as dependent as she was saying, because all of her sponsors require some sort of visual assistance to use, like the Squarespace or HelloFresh, or you know what I mean? So YouTubers really do need to do some due diligence before they just jump and accept a sponsorship, especially if that sponsorship has been in the past responsible for some pretty large scandals. So that's just my take on that situation. I am going to put us in the Be Right Back screen, and I'm going to quickly do a bathroom break and figure out some more coffee. So I will be right back. Here is some music, and I shall return. Why not throw the stream out in Discords and Twitter and stuff while I'm gone? I'll be right back. Okay, let's see here. Really, Ninja? What are you doing? What was that knife company that was bad? I don't remember. I know what knife company you're talking about, Duck Dog, but I can't remember what it was. So I've got a half pot of coffee going, so I'll have to step away when it's ready to get a cup. But we're now switching to our second show of cowardice here. And we are going to take a look at the very first question period in 2 flippin' weeks. 2 weeks, guys. So here we go. We're gonna take a listen.
Questions orales, oral questions. The Honorable Leader of the Official Opposition.
Hey! This guy sounds like he'll be a good translator.
After 8 years of this Prime Minister, he's not worth the cost. Common sense conservatives are working to fix the budget, stop crime, and build homes, but the Prime Minister not only wants to impose a new 17 cents a litre tax on gas with the support of the NDP and the Bloc, he now wants to impose a decree to close the forestry sector in Quebec.
Wait, what? He wants to do what? He wants to close Quebec's forestry industry? Why?
Why does the Prime Minister want to step on Quebec's jurisdiction to kill jobs in the forestry sector?
Right?
The Honorable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister...
Oh, of course, he's not even there. He's not even there. It's Christian.
Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker, since 2013, Quebec has put in place its process and for putting a price on carbon. The province is not under the federal regime. The Conservative leader continues to show...
The federal regime? That's an interesting way to call yourself.
A system that Quebec decided to put in place itself over 10 years ago. It's the Conservative leader who does not respect provincial jurisdiction. Honorable Leader of the Official Opposition. Apparently, there was an interpretation error. The question was about the forestry sector.
I like this guy. He can keep up with Polyev. I like this translator. Let's keep him around.
Mr. Speaker, that the Prime Minister wants to close with a decree which violates Quebec's jurisdiction.
It does.
Meanwhile, common sense Conservatives want to defend workers in the forestry sector. Meanwhile, in the Journal de Montréal, we read that these people are hungry. People have had to, the police have had to intervene twice in distributing food baskets. So,
wow, that's bad. The Montreal police have had to distribute food hampers. This is fucking insane. We are moving from people going to food banks to the literal police departments distributing food hampers.
Why is the Prime Minister, with his tax and inflationary deficits, continuing to make people hungry? The Honorable Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker.
The Conservatives are the ones who want to reduce all of the social supports that the federal government now offers to Quebecers.
Yes, because they are stamping on the jurisdiction of Quebecers. You dumb cunt. Holy shit.
The only thing that the Conservatives understand how to do is cut, cut, cut.
We need cut right now.
But we will be there and we will not let the Conservatives cut this necessary aid.
What necessary aid?
Common sense conservatives are fighting to axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime. This prime minister is promising a cruel April Fool's Day joke, a 23% carbon tax hike on food, gas, and groceries. This at a time when the prime minister has forced 50 families at CFB at Gagetown, military families, to go to food banks. 2 million Canadians every month going to those same food banks. 8,000 as part of a Facebook group where they share tips on eating out of dumpsters.
That is insane. 8,000 strong Facebook group showing, like, talking about safe ways to go dumpster diving for food. Wow. That's sad.
Will the prime minister gain some compassion and some common sense and spike the hike?
The Honorable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker.
We will take no lessons from the Conservatives.
Oh my God! Stop saying that shit! Why do they all have to say the same shit? Trudeau says it, therefore we all have to say it. We will not take less. She's said it. Trudeau says it. The fucking stupid French guy, the minister of, oh, what the fuck's his name? That stupid, the French guy who talks like this all the time. Ugh. We will take no lessons from the Conservatives.
The least vulnerable in our country. This is the party that wants to cut the Canada Child benefit.
No, they don't. Where did he say that? Where did he say he wanted to cut the Canada Child benefit? I did not hear any of that come out of his mouth in anywhere. And Stephen Harper's government put in that tax. You just fucking renamed it. So why the hell would Poilievre want to cut something that a government that he was minister of put into place? You idiot.
Party that wants to cut support to our seniors. This is the party that wants to cut early learning and childcare, which supports so many families.
You mean that $10 a day childcare thing that's not gonna work? That's already not working because centers are already closing and there are already wait lists for people that are trying to get these spots. And also, how the hell do you plan on feeding and educating a child on $10 a day? Because you're not gonna fucking subsidize the rest of that money. You're not gonna put in the other $990 a month per child. We all know that. So what exactly do you think is going to feed and educate these children on $10 a day? Does he actually sound like Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast? Yes. Except he doesn't have as deep a voice. He's got this nasally fucking twang in his voice. It sounds like he's got the nasally voice of Clocksworth, but the French accent of Lumiere. And that's what you've got.
They're opposed to dental care.
They're opposed to federal dental care because we don't need it. Oh, did you hear? No, listen. Oh, wow. Did you hear the 2-person golf clap? Did you hear that?
Dental care, they're opposed to pharmacare, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Leader of the Opposition.
Fear and falsehoods to distract from the fact that after 8 years of this Prime Minister, he's not worth the cost, and neither is his carbon tax, which will cost the average Ontario family this coming year $1,674. $1,674 for a middle-class family that's lined up at a food bank not able to feed themselves or pay their heating bill. Will the Prime Minister give his head a shake, cancel his cruel April Fool's Day joke, and spike the hike?
No, he won't. Because he doesn't give a flying fuck. He does not give a flying fuck about this.
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, no one here is surprised to hear the Conservative leader talk about fear and falsehoods because that is what he traffics in every single day. It's
wow.
personal expertise. Now, what he is proposing is, at least he is consistent. He wants to cut the support that Canadians...
What? She sounds angry today. This is interesting. He's got her pissed off. She is not happy. She's dropped her simper. She is pissed.
Canadians get, and he wants to cut the support Canadian families are getting from the price on pollution. That's $1,800 Alberta families won't get. That's $1,000.
Yeah, because they won't be paying it out. So they won't need it. You idiot. We don't need the rebates if we're not paying the tax.
$20 Ontario families won't get. Cut. All they know how to do.
Excellent. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
So she just brags that Alberta families will get $1,800, but according to the Parliamentary Budget Officer, the carbon tax will cost Alberta families $2,943.
Yeah, so they'll get $1,800 back, but they're still losing $1,100 because they're paying a tax that doesn't need to be paid.
So the Prime Minister takes away $2,943 and gives back $1,800. Mr. Speaker, it's almost like he's a bank robber who thinks that he's virtuous because he tips the teller on the way out the door.
But right? Sorry I robbed your bank. Here's some cash. Sorry I robbed you.
Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, the
Mr. Speaker
leader should know a lot about living off the public purse.
Did you had to think about that, didn't you? You had to listen to her scramble. Listen.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservative leader should know a lot about living off the public purse.
Listen to her call for the words. She's like, what do I say? What do I say?
That's all he has done his entire life. Now, when it
Wow!
this is entirely revenue neutral. The government does not keep a penny.
Did she just attack Poilievre's personally by saying he's lived off the public purse his entire life? Holy shit. Meanwhile, she's been holy crap.
It returns more money to 8 out of 10 Canadian families. That's a good deal for Canadians, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for La Prairie.
Oh, he's not gonna, yeah, good for him. He's gonna ignore her.
This Prime Minister... sorry, I'll interrupt the member from La Prairie, but his microphone wasn't on, so I will ask the Honourable Member from La Prairie to restart from the beginning, please. On Friday, the Premier of Quebec met with this Prime Minister to ask for full power for Quebec when it comes to immigration. And this Prime Minister said, no, but that's not all. Did the Prime Minister commit to adjusting immigration levels to meet the ability to welcome people? No.
No.
Did he commit to doing his fair part to helping with asylum seekers? No.
No.
Did he commit to accelerating the processing of requests and the granting of work permits? No.
No.
All day he said, no. If he doesn't want to deal with immigration, why is he preventing Quebec from doing it?
That's a good question. If he doesn't if why isn't he letting the provinces take care of their own shit? That's a very, very good question. Why is he meddling in the jurisdiction of the provinces?
The Honourable Minister of Immigration, Citizenship and Refugees. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There is no country in the world, no federal state in the world, which would give all immigration powers to a federated state. We have a major agreement with Quebec that's in place, the Canada-Quebec Agreement, which gives a great deal of power to Quebec. There's responsibility on both sides, Canada and Quebec. We will continue.
Yes, and you're not doing your part.
Continue to work, particularly on the temporary workers file. The Honourable Member for La Prairie. Nobody has ever taught this Prime Minister that he could say yes, that he could be a partner, that he has the responsibility to bring solutions and compromises to meetings on immigration.
That's very true. Justin Trudeau does not play compromise. He plays, you do things the way I say so, or you don't get your equalization payments. That's what Trudeau does.
Yet, there's no additional power for Quebec, no money for asylum seekers, no help with welcoming, no accelerating work permits or processing of requests. Not even any thoughts, any ideas on the ability to welcome people. And, you know, the Prime Minister said that he found his job difficult and maybe boring on the weekend. Is that why he's not doing it?
Oh! Oh, I knew that was gonna come back to bite him in the ass. I knew that article was gonna come back to bite him in the ass. He is going to lose his coalition very soon. This is gonna be bad for him. This is whoo boy.
The Honourable Minister of Immigration. I wonder what $5.2 billion means for the member across the way. Since 2015...
Did you just hear that? Let me back that up.
Is that why he's not doing it? The Honourable Minister of Immigration. I wonder what $5.2 billion means for the member across the way. Since 2015, our government, under the Canada-Quebec Agreement, has contributed that. It's a good relationship we have. There was a good meeting on Friday. The member across the way refuses to admit it. There's work that we can continue to do with both governments, and we will continue to do that.
Did you just hear that? Gee, I really wonder what $5 billion means to you guys. Would be a shame if that were to just go away. Holy fuck. They just mob bossed. The Minister of Immigration literally just mafia donned a fucking MP. That is insane. That is absolutely batshit crazy. They just played mob tactics with a fucking member of parliament in open house. And nobody's gonna say anything. That is crazy. I'm gonna take this time to go fill my coffee and everybody can take a second to think about what that just was. 'Cause holy fuck. I will be right back. Okay. We're back. There we go. Back to the live scene. Okay.
Burnaby South.
Oh boy. Oh boy. This is gonna be good. What the fuck nonsense is the terrorist supporter gonna say? Here we go, Jagmeat. What do you got for us?
The people of Gaza are facing unspeakable violence. Thousands of children have been killed, and vital supplies like food, medicine, and water are scarce.
I still think it's hilarious. They're using the term regime unironically. Yeah, yes, send the money for alcohol, please. Streamlabs.com/blindpress.
And release the hostages. Will the are scarce. Today, the NDP is calling on the government to do everything in its power to stop the violence and release the hostages. Will the Prime Minister vote today for peace?
No, that's not peace. That's not what you want. That is, your motion is not going to cause peace for Canada, let me tell you. It is going to cause an international incident if you guys pass this motion. Nobody is going to be okay with that.
The Honourable Minister for Foreign Affairs.
I agree with my honourable colleague. The violence must stop. Hostages must be released. Humanitarian aid must go into Gaza. We need to make sure that Israeli and Palestinian civilians are protected. And that is the position of the government. We will be there to make sure that there is long-term peace in the region. And of course, to make sure that there is to make sure that the Jewish community and the Muslim community and all communities across the country are well secured and can live peacefully here as well.
What kind of answer was that? Why does she sound terrified? Why does she sound so fucking terrified? That this is the we have to protect the Israeli and the Palestinians. No. As long as Hamas is here, as long as we've got terrorists going around, like, this is not going to work.
The Honourable Member for Burnaby South.
Canadians are watching, and they're going to see how this government votes. La violence qu'on voit en Palestine.
The violence that we're seeing.
Yeah, the Canadians are watching, and if you guys vote to pass this, and we're not going to be happy.
In Palestine and Gaza cannot continue. Civilians are being killed for crimes they did not commit. Our motion calls for actions that the Liberals can take to promote peace and justice in the region. Will the Prime Minister vote for peace?
Oh, you missed the... Oh, it did pass just without recognizing Palestine as a state. Huh. Rambling word salad. Yeah. Fuck, I need alcohol.
Yes or no?
Streamlabs.com/blindpress.
The Honourable Minister of Foreign Affairs. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Our position is clear. The hostages must be released. Humanitarian aid, more humanitarian aid must get into Gaza, and we need to...
How? The fucking terrorists are stealing it all. How do you plan on making the terrorists stop stealing all the shit you're sending over there? How do you plan on making Hamas stop using their civilians as meat shields? How do you plan on doing that? Oh, wait, you don't.
That there is peace and stability in the region, and that is why I was in the region recently, last week.
Oh, is that why you're so terrified?
The government of Canada, the country, Canada, we will continue to be there to work towards all solutions, which will include a two-state solution and recognition of a Palestinian...
Because she's one of the backbenchers. That's... Yeah, it's Melanie Jolie, yeah. because she's actually one of those backbenchers that was opposed to all of this, but she's also a Ukraine supporter.
In state, but also with the normalization of diplomatic relations with the region.
The normalization of diplomatic relations. Yeah, there's diplomacy between Israel and Canada is fine. That's not the problem. Ninja, what the fuck is your problem? Why are you attacking all my shit? I want my door open for some airflow. He's literally coming up, putting his front paws on top of things and knocking them over for no fucking reason.
The honourable member from Regina Capel.
After 8 years, this Prime Minister is not worth the cost. And thanks to his policies, millions of Canadians are visiting a food bank for the first time in their lives. And as if prices weren't high enough already, this Prime Minister is planning a 23% hike on the carbon tax in a cruel April Fool's Day joke. But the tax revolt is happening. 70% of Canadians and 70% of premiers are opposed and fighting back. Like in Saskatchewan, where the budget watchdog has determined that Saskatchewan families will pay an extra $2,620 in the carbon tax. So simple question, where are Saskatchewan families supposed to come up with $2,600 to pay his tax?
Yeah. That's a very good question. And what the hell is that noise? They expect me to feed them 2 hours after they've already been fed. That's not happening.
The driving ape moderator. Pace and stability and reaction. But Pink Callow, the driving ape moderator. Pace and stability is more like it. But Pink Callow, the driving ape moderator. Because she's one of the
peace and stability is more like it. The cat interlude. Yep.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I have a lot of respect for the former Conservative leader, and he is a proud MP from the province of Saskatchewan, a province that is proud of its Ukrainian Canadian population.
Oh my God. Oh my God, are we really going there?
Now, last week, the current Conservative leader said in a radio interview, he implied strongly he would cut all economic aid for Ukraine. This is a chance for the MP from Saskatchewan to say, does he support that shameful position? Yes.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy the fucking gaslighting and backflips. Wow. Did that actually just happen? Holy shit. Of course we would cut all economic aid to the Ukraine. We're not fighting that war. And we need to save our money right now.
The honourable member from Regina Capel.
They desperately don't want to answer for the carbon tax pain they're causing Canadians. And no one is fooled by the ridiculous rebate ruse this government is selling. That's because Canadians know that the carbon tax rebate was specifically designed to exclude all the secondary costs that go up when the producer, the shipper, and the retailer all have to pay their higher share of carbon taxes. And the average income earners, the middle income earners across Canada, are worse off even after the rebate. $900 worse off in Alberta, $500 worse off in Saskatchewan, $600 worse off in Ontario. Why doesn't the Prime Minister show some compassion and spike the hike?
I think good answer. Good answer. Way to ignore that bullshit. Way to ignore that bullshit. Good job. Good job.
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, I'm glad to hear the member opposite talk about the rebate, because that is what it is. This is returning money to Canadians. 8 out of 10 families are better off. It is
no, they're not!
But I noticed that this Saskatchewan MP, a member of Parliament admit many of us on this side of the house really respect someone who is proud to represent the people of Saskatchewan. I'd like to hear him say, does he support his leader's shameful position on Ukraine?
Oh my God. Oh my God. We're not talking about Ukraine right now. We're talking about Canadian families that can't pay this tax. Holy fuck.
Yes or no? The people of Saskatchewan deserve to know.
The people of Saskatchewan care about the carbon tax.
Mr. Speaker, after 8 years of this NDP Liberal Prime Minister, food bank usage in Toronto is up 500%. Now they want to hike the carbon tax on gas, on groceries, on home heating by 23%, on their way to quadrupling the tax over the next 6 years. What a cruel April Fool's joke. According to the parliamentary budget officer, the average Ontario family will pay $1,674 of carbon tax. Where does this Prime Minister think they're going to get that kind of money?
That's a very good question. But you know, if you just cancel your streaming subscriptions, you'll get that. You just have to cancel your Disney Plus and your Netflix. That's where you'll get that $1,600. As in on April 1st, my gas bill doubles my fuel bill. Yeah. Yeah. Literally.
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians can see through these conservatives. And
No. You got that backwards. You've got that backwards, fucking Lilith of the underworld. We can see through you and your bullshit. You have got that way backwards.
That the only thing these conservatives know how to do is cut, and the people who suffer the most are the most vulnerable. They want to cut the Canada Child Benefit.
Where?
They do not support dental care, which is helping the most vulnerable among.
Because we have fucking provincial dental care. We don't need federal shit. And he didn't say anything about touching the child benefit.
They do not
the fuck are you talking about?
Which is helping make life more affordable for Canadian families.
We weren't. Oh my God. Holy shit. There were dental plans for low-income families already. There were. Oh my God.
If they want to push Canadians into poverty, we won't let them.
The Honourable Member from Thornhill.
Mr. Speaker, they've already done that, and we're going to cut the taxes. If you give back $1,000 to an Ontario family, but you take $1,674, liberal math says that's more, but real math says that's
less. Yes.
The Prime Minister doesn't get it. He's not worth the cost, especially for the 300,000 Torontonians who ate in a food bank just last February. They are about to hike taxes by 23% in less than 2 weeks. Why is she the only person in Canada who thinks that raising taxes will lower the cost of food?
That's a very good question. That is a very, very good question. How can you think that raising the taxes is going to lower the cost of everything? I don't understand. Cancel your streaming subscriptions and don't put your kids in any activities. Nope. No extracurricular activities. No streaming subscriptions so you can relax at the end of the day. Nothing. You're just supposed to work and come home and eat and sleep. That's all you're supposed to do. No enjoyment to life. Nothing. But because we gotta get these emissions down, you know. We gotta get these fucking carbon dioxide emissions down. You know, the carbon dioxide that we fucking need to keep our planet from freezing because we're 150 kilometers away from the 150 million kilometers away from the goddamn sun. And if we didn't have greenhouse gases, we wouldn't be staying warm, you idiots. Oh, Jesus Christ.
The Honourable Minister of Finance and Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, if the member opposite really believes her rhetoric about supporting Canadian families, why does she think
Hey, Cannibalistic Wizard.
for them will help? Why doesn't she support early learning and childcare?
It's like Healthy Smiles in Ontario doesn't exist. Yeah.
Which has helped to lift more than 2.3 million Canadians, particularly children, out of poverty.
Okay, nobody in the Conservative caucus has said anything about cutting the child benefit. Where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? Why is this a new thing? Also, again, Stephen Harper's Conservative government put in place this benefit. It was just called the child tax benefit. They just renamed it and acted like they implemented it. You were supposed to be slaves of the state. Don't you know that, pleb? Oh, my bad. My bad. My bad, Duck Dog.
Why doesn't she support dental care, which is helping the poorest Canadians be able to take care of their
Because there are provincial dental programs like Healthy Smiles.
The honourable member from Peterborough, Cowardice.
After 8 years of this Liberal NDP coalition, food has never been more expensive. In fact, food is so unaffordable that 50 active serving military families from CFB Gagetown are using the Oromocto Food Bank.
That is pathetic. That is absolutely pathetic. That fucking active service families are having to go to the food bank. What is going on with the housing and the basic housing allowance and shit? Why is none of this happening? Like I'm trying to come up with the $40 to let the kids go to the play for the school. Yeah. Yeah, it's like Canadian families are struggling to come up with small pittance to send their kids to school activities. Like, this is fucking crazy. This is absolutely crazy.
This is outrageous, it is shocking, and it is unacceptable. Right. So, for the 100th time, on behalf of all the Canadians and 70% of the premiers in this country, will they spike the hike, axe the tax, and make food more affordable?
Yeah! The Honourable Minister for National Defence. Mr. Speaker, that's an extraordinary comment, and I'd like to commend the member for being able to say with a straight face.
Oh, really? She's lying. She's lying, is she? So there aren't 50 families from CFB Gagetown. There are not 50 families from CFB Gagetown using the food bank? That's a lie?
Because the fact is, Mr. Speaker, we gave members of the Canadian Armed Forces a very significant raise just last year. And when it came before this House to vote for the money for that raise, every single Conservative on that side of the House voted against it. Shame. Mr. Speaker, perhaps they should scrap the crap.
Wow. Wow. Just wow. You guys are ballsy. Yeah.
I'm going to ask members
Call him out.
to be very judicious in their use of words and to making sure, and I'll ask the Honourable Minister to be very judicious in his choice of words.
Ha ha! Ha ha! You got in trouble for saying crap. Ha ha! You fucking suck.
The Honourable Member from Peterborough, Cowardice.
Mr. Speaker, that's exactly the lack of classy response I would expect from a Liberal.
Oh, good shot.
The reality is he doesn't know what's going on because clearly he doesn't listen. These are 50 real families accessing a food bank under that Prime Minister's watch. $700 more in groceries a year for Canadian families, low-income families.
And that's $700 more a year. That's probably a low estimate.
Are most impacted. 1 million more users of food banks this year. Students, seniors, low-income families. Those are the facts. That's what we will keep fighting for. Spike the hike, axe the tax.
There you go. There you go. Okay, I have gone through 20 minutes of this shit. I have no alcohol. I have no cannabis. I cannot continue with this shit. I fucking tap. I tap out. I tap out. Oh, that's because Trudeau told the military leadership they had to cut $1 billion this year out of the military budget. That sucks. Of course Trudeau did. Of course he did. Of course he told them that, because you know why the fuck not, right? Let's do that. Let's cut our budget. Let's send all our money overseas. It'll be fine. We'll be perfectly fine. Everything will work out. And now that I'm sufficiently pissed off, let's get even more pissed off, because this video is apparently telling us that gamers are dangerous and they need government oversight. This is by Clownfish TV.
Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I'm not here with Geeky Sparkles in this video, but we're going to talk about the state of the video game industry. Right now, gamers are under attack. This whole thing has just blown up massively over the last couple weeks, and it's so much bigger than just Sweet Baby Inc. So we're going to talk about this. This is coming from the ADL. Now remember, guys...
Oh, the fucking ADL. Fuck the ADL, the American Defense League. They don't know shit. They lost their shit over WTF and this is allowed, right? He technically was. He was admonished. He was admonished. They said, I want the minister to be very judicious with his words. He was admonished.
Guys, before you go freaking out too much here, the ADL also had a huge problem with Elon Musk buying Twitter. They had a massive problem with it. Last fall, they put a statement out. The ADL basically has, and that would be the Anti-Defamation League. They have a problem with
I thought it was the American Defense League.
So, I'm just, but I mean, this is crazy that they are retweeting this article and talking about the extremism in gaming. I'm like,
oh yes, gamers are so very extreme in our want to just play a good game. Yeah. We are just so out there in our wish to play a good game.
I'm a gamer. I'm a lifelong gamer. Have you met?
Was that you that just called, honey?
Like in the real world? Like I'm not gonna generalize, but I'm just saying. I don't know if they really fit the profile of what you think a terrorist would be like. Let's put it that way. It's like a lot of these guys, they might be good at games online, shooting things online. I don't know if many of them would cross over from Fortnite to actually learning how to shoot.
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna start running around brutally killing people just because I play Mortal Kombat. Right? Like, I'm not gonna do that. I don't think that I'm some crazy ass fighter because I play fighting games. I'm not gonna run around and fucking just kill people all the time.
Or would do that. But they keep trying to tie gamers to acts of extremism. I mean, this happened in New Zealand.
Yep.
And
it happened in Columbine.
Blaming PewDiePie and the Gamergates and all this stuff. And here we go again, guys.
It's fucking happened in Columbine with fucking Doom. And Duke Nukem and shit.
Talking point. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Go out to Clownfish Gaming. We do gameplay videos. We actually do play games. Imagine that. We actually do play games. So before I get into this, I gotta get something off my chest here.
Wait, I learned something yesterday. I didn't know beach went bad so fast. I figured it would after many years, but not after less than a year.
Right.
Huh.
One, we're not going to be covering, unless there's like major news, we're not going to be covering the Sweet Baby Inc. thing day by day, blow by blow.
No. Because it's bullshit.
You know, there are plenty of other people that cover it, right? And I think it is personally starting to get weirdly political. And I understand.
Well, it was always weirdly political, Neon. It was literally, that's why they started going after the Steam group, because they didn't align with their ideology.
The whole thing is political. I'm like, yeah, it is, but I don't think combating politics with more politics is necessarily the answer. I think cutting off the oxygen, and just apathy and closing your wallets, I think that is the answer to getting rid of things in gaming that you don't want. And just cut them off, cut the money off. Seems to work. It's worked for Hollywood, right? So that being said, it doesn't help gamers at all that we've got people like Matt Walsh.
Oh fuck.
Weighing in on
fucking Matt
this
Walsh
situation.
Matt Walsh isn't
when
even a
you
gamer.
You can tell this guy has never touched a damn video game in his life.
Right. Matt Walsh is. If Matt Walsh is a gamer, then I am a fucking. I don't know what I'm a garbage man. Okay, I drive a garbage truck every day, and like that's all that's what I am. I'm a garbage man if Matt Walsh has ever touched a video game.
This is the same guy who thought animation was stupid. He thought anime was stupid and satanic. He thinks anybody that's into pop culture is
they've been pulling the same shit since the 80s, Duck Dog. You're absolutely right.
This is the last person who should be weighing in on this topic. And the
quite
more
literally the last person
right-wing pundits get involved in this situation that involves gamers across the spectrum, the political spectrum, right?
Yes.
And gamers don't give a shit. Most gamers don't give a shit about politics.
No. If we're gonna be real, like, most gamers are not like terminally online into commentary shit and whatever. They just want to play their game.
Up front, most gamers do not give a shit at all about politics. And initially, when all this stuff started, it was pushback against heavy-handed politics being shoved into gaming.
Yeah.
But when we've got talking heads like that getting into it and turning it into a right versus left thing, you're not helping gamers, because it leads to shit like this.
If video games cause violence, what games did Adolf play? Right? What about Mao? Yeah, that's a very good question. Walsh needs to shut the fuck up about things he knows nothing about, like games, anime, and manga.
I'm just saying.
Yep.
I mean, they already had gamers in the crosshairs, right? But it leads them to start making connections that aren't there. This happened with Star Wars too. We got put on some list. It was that Rewriting Ripley garbage blog and podcast, and the sole purpose of this blog and podcast was to try to connect everybody who didn't like Disney's Star Wars to the actual alt-right.
What the fuck?
And it was very tenuous. It was like, well, because Clownfish doesn't like The Last Jedi, and their videos are recommended with the quarterings. And one time the quartering talked to this one guy who talked to this other guy
who talked
knows,
to Neon.
Milo Yiannopoulos. Yeah.
Oh,
and
of course.
That's how
guilt by association.
I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Seriously,
6 degrees of separation from the alt-right.
That's insane. But anyway, I just want to get that off my chest, because if you're looking for daily hot takes on Sweet Baby Inc., this is not the channel for you. We've done a couple of videos about it, but I think it's going to get weird, and I think that a lot
weirder.
of
than it already has.
I think they're going to play into the trap. I think it's a trap.
It's a trap.
I think it's a trap. I think
we did it at the exact same time.
Push and poke and prod to get extreme reactions, and then they're gonna point a finger at the gamers and be like, "Look, because that one guy did that one crazy thing."
Yep.
All gamers are bad.
Yep. Brandon Harris and Dylan Klebold shot up a school. Therefore, every gamer that plays FPSs are gonna be school shooters.
You know, but this, I mean, look,
Fuck off.
I've been gaming since Atari 2600. I'm not even joking. I mean, I was very little. But, I mean, I remember Columbine when that happened.
Yep.
Games were being blamed for that. I remember the Mortal Kombat drama. And that was actually Al Gore's wife that was trying to get Doom and Mortal Kombat banned. And, you know, Night Trap, I guess that was a big deal. Remember Night Trap? Nobody remembers Night Trap.
And that's one I don't remember.
Let's get back to this. ADL. The ADL. As digital social spaces, online games should be regulated to address hate and extremism. It's vital for Congress to examine extremist radicalization in these spaces. And we're
extremist radicalization,
Train? I don't know. I don't give a shit. For leading this effort. An important piece to read. Readers added context. They thought people might want to know there is little to no evidence that people are being radicalized through online gaming. This is a push for further surveillance of the public. Yes, I agree with that.
Literally,
as a goodwill gesture to combat extremism, people primarily play video games to simply relax and have fun.
Yeah, do you know why I end the streams with Mortal Kombat? Because I enjoy Mortal Kombat, and it is a fun thing, especially after listening to videos like this bullshit. It helps get all the anger out, and it's enjoyable.
That's true. I actually did a video on that they said that there is no correlation, that most experts can find. There's no correlation between real-world violence and video games.
No.
And video games are such a huge part of pop culture. That's like saying if somebody gets in a fist fight, it's because they watch football.
Yeah.
NFL. You know?
I got in a fist fight because I watched Fight Club yesterday. God damn, Edward Norton's character and Brad Pitt really pissed me off. I gotta just beat the crap out of somebody.
Saying that because it's right there. But that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, they watch WWE and they punched a guy, and it's because they watch WWE. It's like, no, they were just violent and batshit to begin with.
Yeah.
So here's the article from The Hill. Regulate toxic online video games the same as social
media. Online video games.
Including X, right? Yeah, after years of paralysis, the U.S. and European
Gore's
Union
wife didn't like Prince because of an album cover. Oh, God. Let me guess. It was the Purple Rain one, right? It was probably the Purple, or maybe When Doves Cry. It was probably either Purple Rain or When Doves Cry, wasn't it?
The EU is taking tentative steps to enforce the New Digital Services Act.
Oh, God.
This is in Europe. I
Fucking
don't
Europe.
Be like Europe. I'm an American. I don't want to be like Europe. Which came into effect for all online platforms on February 17th. Some states in the U.S. are trying to control how platforms do content moderation. And the Supreme Court is now considering the constitutionality of this regulatory foray. Meanwhile, the U.S. Senate is
I would say it's not constitutional.
Legislation that would compel online platforms to introduce additional child safety measures. But these efforts to rein in social media overlook the gargantuan online gaming industry.
Oh, fuck off. They overlook the gargantuan online gaming industry. Okay, first of all, games have ratings, like a rating system. And it's up to the parents to be like, this game is not rated for your age level. You may not play it. But that would require parents to parent.
Video games comprise the largest entertainment industry by far. Okay, so I'm going to stop right there. The reason that video games have been such a battleground over the last decade is this very reason. It is the largest source of entertainment.
Not
bigger
wrong.
Than Hollywood. That's why people are trying so hard to take it, to claim it, to plant the flag.
Because they want that money.
That's
they
why they're doing it.
They want that money.
That's why you're getting these talking heads that never cared about video games any other time. That's why you've got, Joe Biden playing Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
And Disney throwing money at Fortnite because they just are like, video games are popular.
Yeah.
Well, we can reach a lot of
people.
We
want that money.
Let's take it. And then we'll reach all the people we need to reach. Today, online gaming sites offer far more than entertainment. They're social platforms that channel user communication and enable networking and community building. Online games should be part of the regulatory discussion concerning digital platforms.
They shouldn't.
But they seldom are. Discussions of harm in gaming historically have focused on fears about the content of the games themselves. However, the social environment of games is what actually poses a significant threat.
A threat
to players' safety and well-being. Exposure to hateful speech is routine, while doxing, exposing someone's private identifying information, and physical threats are also common.
Okay. Doxing's already illegal. It's not illegal, but there's already, you can't... Jesus Christ. What are you gonna do? Make a crime for doxing? And how are you gonna enforce that?
Of acute concern is mounting evidence that extremists and other bad actors take advantage of the pre-existing toxic gamer culture.
Pre-existing toxic gamer culture? What toxic gamer culture? The gamer culture of competition? Of trash talk? Oh, wait, trash talk is toxic and bullying behavior. That's right. I forgot.
Where are these? These are all going to psychology, links to psychology sites. Toxic gamer culture to disseminate their hateful ideology and unleash
they're hiding in wait in the Call of Duty lab to recruit you to their alt-right
While players,
cabal.
game makers, members of civil society are familiar with these problems, many companies and policymakers are only just beginning to address or even acknowledge these issues. Gaming companies and policymakers seem to be operating under a misconception about how the rights to privacy and freedom of speech should apply online.
What?
They seem to still think that you should be able to say whatever you want to say in America, and we can't have that.
No, well, you should be able to say, I'm sorry, not just America, anywhere where there's freedom of speech laws. Anywhere where there's freedom of speech laws, you should be able to say whatever the fuck you want to.
Misconception stems from inadequate attention to the human rights on the other side of the equation. That of victims of extremist harassment and violent hate harassment and the perpetuation of extremist ideology rooted in hostility towards specific groups stand in direct contradiction to the very notion of human rights.
Holy fuck, that was a long sentence. That was a long sentence.
Again, most people just want to turn their brains off
and
play video games.
Yeah.
To get away from politics. That's what I thought this was about.
Do you know what I was really happy about in Mortal Kombat 1? When they introduced Tanya and Melina as a couple and then, didn't have this whole sub-story where they had to, convince the Umgadi that they were okay. It was just, yeah, we're a couple. And when Melina's Empress, she can change the laws. That's it. That's all they did, and that's all they needed to do, because they didn't need to have this politically correct lesbian relationship. They just, yeah, she's gay.
But we have people that want to turn it into something political. And it is on both sides of the aisle. Like I said, once you get somebody like Matt Walsh weighing in on it, when this dude has never touched a controller in his life, obviously.
Yes.
It's kind of, you kind of discredit that side. In practice, exposure to extremist rhetoric and behavior in games has tangibly and sometimes devastatingly affected victims of harassment, intimidation, and occasional violence. In the most severe cases, extremist radicalization. Why can't I say that? Because
it's
silly.
Stupid.
I can't say it.
That's
it's
why.
Such a stupid thing to tie to video games. Extremist radicalization through gaming inspires actions that violate individuals' right to life.
What?
Oh my God.
Where are these Where are these fucking radicalizations happening? What are we doing? Like, quick, jump onto Helldivers and radicalize some people.
Oh my God, they're bringing up New Zealand. Holy shit. It's so predictable. The perpetrator of the Christchurch massacre
blah,
in New
blah,
Zealand
blah,
used
Christchurch,
gaming chat
blah,
rooms
blah,
to engage in
blah.
and seek support for his racially motivated ideation.
Gaming chat
His
rooms. Do you mean
gamification of
Discord?
The actual attack inspired subsequent mass shoot. Oh
Gamification? Gamification of the attack. What the fuck does that even mean? Gamification of the attack inspired subsequent mass shootings. What the fuck?
There's no proof. He was crazy. The dude had mental issues and he just wanted to, you know, tie that to gaming, to PewDiePie, to all, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this is so ridiculous. They've already done studies that there is nothing that points to games, you know, radicalizing.
There's no
anybody.
correlation.
In 2022, the gunman who killed 10 and injured 3 at Tops Friendly Market in Buffalo noted probably wouldn't be as nationalistic if it weren't for blood and iron on Roblox. They're
Glory to
Roblox
Super Earth.
for extremist behavior. Oh my God. I can't. Who? For extremist behavior on Roblox?
Roblox.
They're blaming Roblox?
Roblox for extremist behavior. You know what? I will go for pedophilia on Roblox before I'll go for fucking extremism. That's what I will. If people are going to tell me that there are pedophiles lurking on Roblox, I'll believe them. You tell me that there are terrorists lurking on Roblox, I'll laugh in your face.
For extremist behavior. Oh my God. I can't. Who? What the fuck? What am I reading? What is this shit? By Mariana Olenzola Rosenblatt. Opinion contributor. Well, you got some opinions there. Oh my God, just goes on and on. Regulators
And on
should
and on
consider
and
online
on.
games fair game for regulation. Online games nominally fall within the scope of the Digital Services Act. Similarly, when considering online platform regulation and enforcement, U.S. policymakers, including the FTC, should explicitly include game companies within their scope.
No,
when
they
talking
should
about
not.
the safety of the internet, especially the safety of children, there is no more important place to start than the digital playgrounds.
Please
Game makers,
think of the
policymakers, researchers, and
children.
advocates all share the same common goal: to make play as safe and enjoyable as possible.
Well, you've completely negated the enjoyability of it all, haven't you? Good job. Well done. Fan-fucking-tastic. Oh, all right. It's time for a quick bathroom break, and then we're going to go be violent. And don't worry, I won't run around in real life killing people, I promise. I'll be right back. You know what we're gonna do? Instead of Mortal Kombat, we took a sufficient break from the question period. I want to finish this because it's 59 minutes and we haven't had question period for 2 weeks. So I want to finish this and see where it takes us. So that's what we're going to do. That was a pretty good mod, Flanders. Oh, thank you, Duck Dog. So yeah, we're going to go back over to the government because I'll play Mortal Kombat later. Probably tonight. But this is more important because we need to be informed. So let's go back here. So we just got back from the lady from Peterborough, Cowardice, calling out the defense minister. So this is where we're starting off from.
The Honourable Minister of National Defence. Mr. Speaker, many people in this House profess to support members of the Canadian Armed Forces, and yet when it came time to put your money where your mouth is, they weren't there. When it came time to vote for a pay raise for members of the Canadian Armed Forces, every single one of them voted against it.
Well, how much money were you sending to Ukraine in that bill that you wanted to raise the, like, yeah, you were raising the money, like raising the pay for the members, but how much money were you also pledging to send to the Ukraine through that bill? I'm just saying how much money was supposed to go to the Ukraine in that motion. And there's your answer as to why the Conservatives voted against it.
Mr. Speaker, that's the height of hypocrisy. Shame.
Before I move to the honourable member for Strealabs, I would just like to remind all members that when you're answering questions or asking questions, you need to go through the chair. The honourable member for Strealabs. The word out of Ottawa these days is no. No to full powers in immigration for Quebec, but also no to the right to withdraw with full compensation from the federal dental care program. No.
See, there's a province that doesn't even want the federal program. That's insane. There's a province who's already saying we don't need this program.
No to the right to withdraw with full compensation from the federal drugs program. No early requests for medical assistance in dying. And even in healthcare, where Quebec has full powers, the answer is no. Even in programs created by Quebec, it's no. Why not respect Quebec's expertise instead of complicating or even preventing access to care?
This is going to be, I think, this is going to be what breaks the coalition, at least between the Liberals and the Bloc Québécois, is the way that they are dealing with Quebec right now.
The Honourable Minister of Public Services and Procurement. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Why not the Minister of Health?
To hear our colleague talk about dental care, the new Canadian dental care program, Mr. Speaker, under which 1.4 million seniors have already asked for access. And of that 1.4 million seniors, over a third are seniors from Quebec.
Okay, but it sounds like Quebec already has a provincial dental program, like Ontario. So, what gives? Why are we forcing provinces to take part in this program?
And there are more seniors from Quebec who have made a request with success than seniors from Ontario. And all that is because, Mr. Speaker, we really need this plan to help seniors get essential dental care and also to help make sure that our professionals can take care of people across the country, including in Quebec. The Honourable Member for Moncton. When it comes to healthcare, even when Ottawa and Quebec agree, the federal government threatens to say no. Quebec has resigned itself to the insufficient increase in health transfers, and yet Ottawa is threatening to cut if Quebec doesn't meet its conditions in the next 13 days. Even when Ottawa and Quebec have the same goals and when they agree, Ottawa is threatening to hold back money if we don't sign to approve each one of its conditions.
Exactly. Because that's how they play. That's how they that's how they play ball. I'm just this is stupid. Like, and I don't agree with Quebec. I don't agree with Quebec getting full powers. Like, I've never liked that they are special. I'm still on the break. Oh, for fuck's sakes. I thought I hit 3. There we go.
What is the federal government waiting for to give Quebecers their money back? Do we have to beg on bended knee? The Honourable Minister of Transport. Well,
wait, what?
What is the federal government waiting for to give Quebecers their money back? Do we have to beg on bended knee?
Why is the Minister for Transport answering this question?
Minister of Transport. Well, you know, Mr. Speaker, who's saying no? It's the Bloc Québécois. They're saying no to collaboration, no to conversations, no to partnerships, no to everything, Mr. Speaker. Meanwhile, the government is working with the government of Quebec to have a fair agreement, and we're very confident that we'll get there by the end of the month, Mr. Speaker. Why?
You just threatened them in open house with a mafia-style threat. One of your colleagues was like, how do you enjoy that $5 billion we've sent you since 2015? Like, how can you say you have a good working relationship with any of the provinces when you've just literally in open House of Commons admitted that you're going to strong-arm provinces with their payments?
Why? Why? Because it's good for all Quebecers, for everyone except for the Bloc Québécois. L'honorable député de Montcalm. The Honourable Member for Montcalm. This government has just decided it's going to say no to everything. No to everything all the time. No to Bill 21. No to full power in immigration. No to Quebec's ability to manage...
Well, Quebec, you're not going to get full power to immigration. I'm sorry.
Imagine, today, they're saying no to Quebec's autonomy when it comes to managing its own fields of jurisdiction.
Yes, that is a big problem. The not allowing Quebec to come out of, like, to opt out of the dental care and the pharmacare, that should be... Like, first of all, we shouldn't even have it because we have provincial health care. That's how our health system is run. So, absolutely, we shouldn't have that happening with, what's it called? When we have programs that aren't needed, you shouldn't be forcing provinces to take part in them.
Despite the fact that this principle is recognized across Canada. Do the Liberals not realize to what extent they're showing a lack of respect to Quebec?
No, they don't, and they don't care.
The Honourable Minister of Transport. Does the Bloc Québécois not realize the extent to which it's not showing respect to Quebecers, Mr. Speaker? And, you know, our leader... Their leader attacked the Premier of Quebec in a speech. Meanwhile, our leader is meeting with the Premier. The Bloc are the champions of no. No to agreements, no to discussion, no to collaboration. That's what the Bloc Québécois is. We are going to have an agreement by the end of the month, an agreement that's good for all Quebecers, Mr. Speaker, but not for the Bloc Québécois, apparently.
Are we witnessing the disillusionment of this coalition right before our eyes? Because we are seeing a lot of Liberal and Bloc Québécois fighting. And this is big. This is very, very big. To see this happening in open parliament is not good for the coalition. It is a very bad look, and I'm seeing the fractures here.
Member from Costa Bay Central, Notre Dame.
Where?
Saturday's poll by the Voice of the Common Man revealed that 90% of Newfoundlanders and Labradorians are against the April 1st increase in carbon tax by 23%. Even the Liberal Premier, Fury, he pleaded with the Prime Minister to pause the April 1st tax hike.
That's right.
Newfoundlanders and Labradorians are sick and tired of these cruel April Fool's jokes. So after 8 years, will this NDP Liberal Prime Minister heed the plead and spike the hike, or will he once again prove that he's simply not worth the cost?
This is true. The Liberal Premier of Newfoundland and Labrador was like, hey, can we not do this?
The Honourable Minister for Labour.
Why is the Minister for Labour answering this question?
We are absolutely driven to impart upon the people of Canada cold hard cash in their pockets. That is
what
that is what this rebate will do.
It's their cold hard cash. You're giving back to them. It's not like you're giving them new cash that they didn't have before. This is not... What the fuck?
This is not something that's made up. This is not something that's trivial. This is something that Canadians feel in their bank accounts and in their wallets and in their pockets 4 times a year. This is real cash, Mr. Speaker. We will not deny to the people of Canada. Thank you.
The Honourable Member from Foothills.
After 8 years, this Liberal Prime Minister is just not worth the cost for Canadian farmers. On April 1st, the Prime Minister is going to increase the carbon tax 23%, and the impact on Canadian food production is staggering. A grain farmer in Simcoe County paid $36,000 in the carbon tax in 1 month. The carbon tax cost a poultry farmer in Alberta $180,000 last year.
Jesus Christ! No wonder food is so expensive. Holy shit! $36,000 for a grain farmer and in a month, and $180,000 in a year for a poultry farmer. What the fuck? And those are just 2 examples. No fucking wonder grocery prices are through the roof.
The food professor, Dr. Sylvain Charlebois, advised the Liberals to spike the hike or see wholesale food costs go up 34%.
Holy
food
fuck.
Is no joke. Will the Prime Minister spike the hike?
34% for wholesale food costs. That's insane. That is mind-boggling. That is mind-boggling. Like you drive up the tax for the farmers for production of their goods. Then you drive up the tax for the fuel for the delivery people to haul the product to wherever it needs to go. Then you what the fuck? This is insane. They're also not realizing the medical expense increase. I have to increase my fuel costs now, so the medical supplies I deliver are now going to... I just want to make sure I read this properly. A single chicken breast, not even a big one, costs $7 now. One chicken breast. That isn't like just a one chicken breast is $7. We were at the grocery store on Saturday and we were looking for chicken breasts, and it was like $12 or $13 for 2, something like that. It was fucking stupid. I remember when a pack of chicken breasts of 6 chicken breasts being $10 was what the fuck. What? Why?
To grow food.
The Honourable Minister for Agriculture and Agri-Food.
Mr. Speaker, my honourable colleague is well aware that farmers are on the front line of climate change. He's also fully aware that we have a climate change environmental plan. He's also aware that his constituents receive $1,800 a year in their...
How old is this fucker? He sounds like he has no goddamn teeth. I think he needs to go to the retirement home.
Bank account. Is that what you want to cut? $1,800 out of your constituents' bank account? I disagree.
Once again, I'd like to remind ministers to make sure that their answers go through the chair. Also invite all members to do that. The reason why that's done is so that there is always a sense that there is not personal attacks when members are asking questions or making responses. The honourable member from Foothills.
Wow. That's wow.
My constituents are fully aware that Liberals are taking away $2,900 and giving them back $1,800.
Yep.
That is not revenue neutral. But
no,
here
it's
are
not.
The facts. The Liberals are increasing the cost of food yet again on April 1st by increasing the carbon tax by 23%. This is driving Canadians to food banks in unprecedented numbers. The Caring Covered Food Bank in Prince Edward Island is struggling just to keep its doors open. It can't handle
Jesus
the increase
Christ.
in demand of 7.
So now we've got food banks struggling not to close because people are needing so much food that they can't even provide it.
70%, 5,500 families.
This is crazy.
The Prime Minister's bored, but will he listen to Canadians, axe the tax, so Canadians can put food on the table?
Thank you for calling out that article again. That's the second MP to call out that article. Good. Good. I think that's Wallace Murray. Oh. He's got to be older than the Charter of Rights. Probably.
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Oh, look, here she is again.
It is very surprising to hear the...
Why does she keep pausing? It's like she's struggling to find the words so that she doesn't completely show her hand.
It is very surprising to hear the member opposite talk about support for the most vulnerable Canadians. But I'm glad he's turning his attention there. So if he cares about the families of PEI, I want to understand, does he support our early learning and childcare system, which PEI has been enthusiastically a part of, which is putting money back in the pockets of PEI families? Does he support that?
What kind of bullshit? Like, does he not like having help for children? Does he not care about children? You know, our programs aren't actually helping children, but we say they help children. So if he doesn't like our programs, then he obviously must not like children. And he must obviously not want them to get good education. Because the only way for children to get good education is through our backwards program.
Does he support dental care that the seniors of PEI are enthusiastically supportive of? That is real support.
The Honourable Member from Vancouver East.
After 2 months, I'm aware of nearly 2,000 loved ones in Gaza are still waiting to receive a
Shut up.
RCC to reunite with their families in Canada. Clearly, the 1,000 arbitrary cap is a problem. And even for those with codes, not one person has made it to safety, not even people whose biometrics is completed. Meanwhile, families are reporting that their loved ones have been killed in an airstrike. Why can't Canada get people across the border when other countries can? And what will it take for the minister to lift that cap?
Lift that cap! What are you, a fucking... You sound like you're a protester with a megaphone. What the hell? And... She speaks like a fucking supervillain. She does. She does. She's trying to talk like an elitist out of the Hunger Games. Look, another threat. Yeah. They're literally threatening premiers and MPs of different ridings in open House of Parliament.
The Honourable Minister for Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It'll perhaps be cold comfort for the member opposite to find out that we are indeed increasing the number of people that will be eligible to come out of Gaza. There are a number of matters that are beyond our control, notably the ability...
Notably the fact that Hamas still exists.
...to extract people from the Rafah Gate. That is something that falls within matters
just a
of
thought,
which we plead with them to let those people out. But again, we will be relentless in advocating for people reunifying with their family members in Canada, if but for on a temporary basis. Thank you.
The honourable member
a temporary basis?
Starvation of civilians during war is absolutely prohibited under Article 54 of the Geneva Conventions. A UN food agency just reported that due to the Israeli siege on Gaza, 1.1 million Palestinians are facing catastrophic hunger.
Yeah, well, maybe if Hamas would stop hiding behind those civilians and stealing from the food aid trucks that are being allowed in, then maybe that would help them not starve. What other countries? I don't know. I don't know what other countries he's talking about getting their people out.
The EU Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell stated that Israel is provoking famine in Gaza and using starvation as
Israel is provoking famine in...
Did the Foreign Affairs Minister at any point during her high-level meetings with the 2 Israeli cabinet ministers named in the ICJ proceedings raise the plight of starving Palestinians in Gaza forced into famine by Israel?
Minister for Foreign Affairs.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I did. And you know what? I will never shy away from having difficult conversations. Maybe with the Israeli government, maybe with the Palestinian Authority. And we need to make sure that we will continue...
Yeah, no Palestinian Authority is going to talk to you. I'm sorry. They're not going to talk to you. You're a woman. They're not going to talk to you.
Pressure Hamas, who is a terrorist organization, to release hostages. We support the discussions that are happening with Qatar, Egypt, the U.S., to make sure, and of course Israel, to make sure that the hostages are released. And we need to make sure that there's more humanitarian access.
What other countries are doing this, you fucking retards? I don't know why the Liberals and NDPs think they need to be, like, the bastion of freedom and peace. I don't understand this.
Thank you so much.
The honourable member from Newmarket, Aurora.
Mr. Speaker, in recent months we've heard lots of stories about Canadians with disabilities receiving unacceptable treatment while traveling with Canadian Airlines.
Holy shit. That's... Here's a fun question. Why is one called the government and the other called the authority? That is a fun question. Very, very good.
Canadians with disabilities have the same rights as all of us. They deserve equal access and to be treated with dignity.
Yeah, how about instead of talking about treatment on airlines, you talk about fucking the Canada Disability Benefit and why the framework is so generalized and why you guys haven't been talking with the provinces to avoid clawbacks of any potential federal benefit.
The Minister of Transport said,
why are we worrying about this shit?
Airlines need to do a better job for Canadians. So, can he tell us what's happening next?
The Honourable Minister of Transport.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank my colleague for his amazing work, and I've been clear, what happened was completely unacceptable. All Canadians must be treated with dignity and respect, full stop. Airlines have to do better, we all have to do better, and the Minister of Diversity, Inclusion and Persons with Disability and I want to see action now, which is why I'm announcing an Air Accessibility Summit in Ottawa on May 9th. We have to work together to ensure more access.
An Air Accessibility Summit. How about a fucking standard of living accessibility summit, you dumb fuck? Nobody who's disabled can fucking afford to fly right now. How about you stop worrying about that, and how about you worry about us being able to fucking live?
Accessible, a more inclusive Canada. This is about fairness, dignity, and respect.
The honourable member for Mégantic-L'Érable.
Oh no, not you! I don't like you.
Farmers are feeling
You're a bad translator.
Tax hikes, inflation, and carbon pricing, which the bloc would like to radically increase, have led to a general feeling of frustration, according to the president of the Union des Producteurs Agricoles. He says with the rise in interest rates plus the increase in net farm income is plummeting, and we're talking about virtually zero net income in 2024.
Oh, fuck.
Will the Liberal and Bloc MPs listen
net income. That is not good.
And vote against the 23% carbon tax hike on April 1st. The Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker, I hope that the member across the way understands that Quebec, the province of Quebec, has its own carbon price system.
Jesus Christ, lady, are you high? It has its own carbon price system. What the fuck? Are you on Ativan? What the fuck is going on with you?
This system was established in 2013 under Quebec's jurisdiction.
Yeah, but you guys aren't letting Quebec access their jurisdiction.
If the Conservative Party and the member across the way intend to demolish Quebec's system in place, whether they intend to do this. The honourable member for Mégantic-L'Érable. In the St. Lawrence region, 500 farmers escorted by 200 tractors. Also on the North Shore in Quebec City. It's a real cry from the heart that our farmers are launching across the province. While farm closures multiply, the Liberals, supported by the Bloc, think it's a good idea to raise taxes on diesel, Mr. Speaker. The Bloc Liberal coalition has increased the taxes for those who produce food so that Quebecers can they give up these taxes so Quebecers can continue
Jesus Christ!
The honor.
Do you... don't take your Ativan before you start translating. Wait for after.
Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Speaker, I feel that the Premier of Quebec was Mr. Legault, and not...
You feel that the Premier of Quebec was Mr. Legault?
The member across the way was Mr. Legault, and not the member across the way. And it's Quebec that has its own system for carbon pricing.
What does that have to do with this question?
This system has the support of Quebecers.
Are you sure? Because it sounds like it doesn't. It sounds very much like it doesn't. At all.
And the province supports it. We do respect Quebec's jurisdiction.
Are you sure?
The system it's established. The honourable member for Louis Saint Laurent. Mr. Speaker, after 8 years of this Liberal government, Canadians know that this government
bring back the other translator
in provincial jurisdiction. Now the latest attack is on woodland caribou. We support the 1,600 workers in this sector, but now this Liberal environment minister wants to meddle in areas that are none of his business. This question is for the Deputy Prime Minister. Will they not tell their Minister of the Environment to put aside his ideological politics and side with the workers instead? The Honourable Minister
No,
of
they
Environment
won't.
and Climate Change. Thank you.
But it was a question for the Deputy Prime Minister. It was not a question for you, Environment Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to remind my honourable colleague that more than a year ago, the Quebec government and the federal government signed a letter together under which we commit to protecting 70% of the caribou's habitat. And this agreement also set out consultations with the Indigenous peoples on this plan. The Quebec government committed to do this, and we expect the Quebec government to respect their word. Thank you. To keep their word.
What does that have to do with closing the forestry industry down and taking jobs away from people? That's what they were asking about. This is crazy.
The Honourable Member for Charlesbourg au Saint-Charles. Mr. Speaker, the Former Judge DeLille was convicted of premeditated murder of his wife in 2012. The decision was upheld on appeal and at the Supreme Court. In 2021, David Lametti intervened to request another trial, saying he was convinced that there had been a miscarriage of justice. But the report from the review group unveiled Thursday that there is no miscarriage of justice.
Why did David Lametti want this retried? Just because he was a judge?
Is the government denouncing the preferential treatment given to former Judge DeLille by the former Minister of Justice, David Lametti? I'd like to thank the member for his question. What I'd like to stress is that we're aware of the situation and we are going to follow up on this. Thank you.
That's it? That's it. That's all you're going to say. We're aware of the situation and we're going to follow up on it. Thank you. That's all you're going to say. Okay.
The Honourable Member for Saint-Jean. Quebec sets its own immigration targets, they say, and we've said this many times. It's even more unacceptable.
Why are you playing with papers? What? Why are you playing with papers? Read your teleprompter. You are falling very behind your people that you're supposed to be translating here.
Acceptable 2 weeks ago that the minister order his officials to exceed the threshold set by Quebec. It's a serious precedent. From now on, the federal government will interpret Quebec's immigration targets not as a decision but as a suggestion. It's the imposition on Quebec of federal immigration policies inspired by the Century Initiative in direct affront of the spirit of the Canada-Quebec Accord. Will the minister back down and return to discussions with Quebec?
Nope.
The Honourable Minister
Fuck the Canada-Quebec Accord.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm ready to answer the question.
Good for you. Good for you.
Did read if she can reassure me that she did read the accord, the Honourable Member. I'll be pleased to say that I did do so. But the federal government has absolutely no lessons to give Quebec in terms of successful immigration. It's the federal government.
I can barely follow this because of how bad the translator is. This is bad. This is really bad. She needs to go away.
Immigrants into the worst housing crisis in recent years, and it's responsible for the service breakdowns for asylum seekers. It's the minister's fault that these people don't have
asylum
seekers basic needs. So no, we're not going.
I think she meant asylum seekers.
Unilaterally increasing immigration targets chosen by Quebec. Once again, will the minister respect Quebec's choices? The Honourable Minister of Immigration. Mr. Speaker, I have a question to ask the member across the way.
Holy shit. Just answer the question.
To Quebec families who are waiting to be reunited with their families and their loved ones.
The Honourable Member from South Surrey, White Rock.
In British Columbia, the carbon tax is going up 23% on April 1st. After 8 years of
oh wow, a conservative MP in BC? Holy shit.
On food banks. They receive absolutely nothing. No federal tax
I'm surprised.
Rebate, no provincial tax credit. But they do get higher prices for food, gas, and heating. 7 of 10 premiers are demanding the Prime Minister spike the hike, but the NDP Premier of BC is cheering it on. Will the Prime Minister stop the suffering and authorize Premier Eby to spike the hike on April 1st?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister, Minister for
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, as with the Conservative Quebec MPs, we are hearing a question that demonstrates either profound ignorance or profound disrespect
of
the system that the province of BC put in place. BC in 2000, led by a center-right provincial government, put in place a world-leading price on pollution. That system is popular. That system was voted for by some current Conservative federal MPs from BC. Do they want to tear it apart?
Why are you guys doing this? Don't you guys remember the systems you put in place that we broke? Do you want to tear those systems down? Is that really what you want to do? I mean, do you really want to take what little support you guys have left? Is that really the step you want to take? Like, that's what she's saying.
The honourable member from South Surrey, White Rock.
Thank you, Ms. Speaker. We absolutely do, because that was a baloney answer from this minister, and that's what we're getting from the BC Premier as well.
Thank you.
There's 200,000 British Columbians relying on food banks in a single month now. The tax credit shell game, if you qualify, is way less than you pay. BC already has the highest gas prices, $2 a litre just this morning. A 20% hike will force up prices
$2 a litre. That sucks.
This Prime Minister
How much?
Will force up prices another 18 cents a litre.
Oh my God.
Prime Minister isn't worth the cost. Will he show some compassion and authorize the BC Premier to spike the hike on April 1st?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I don't understand why these conservatives can insist on us not taxing the crap out of these people.
The MP from BC just accused the Premier of BC of putting forward baloney policies for the people of BC?
Yeah, she did. She did. She accused the Premier of BC and you of putting forward baloney answers. So, yeah, she did. So, if I'm going to sing my answer.
Intending to step on the jurisdiction of the province of BC, is it intending to go against a system put in place in 2008 by a center-right...
Your gaslighting is not working, Miss Freeland. It's really not. It's very obvious.
BC provincial government that the people of BC support. That is astonishing, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member from Central Okanagan, Similkameen Nicola.
Mr. Speaker, after 8 years of this NDP Liberal government, more and more
another conservative MP for BC. Interesting.
$1.99 a litre gas isn't baloney either. What's also not baloney is on page 75 of the BC's 2024 budget, where the provincial government blames this Prime Minister for 23% carbon tax hike on April 1st. Will the Prime Minister help sandwich British Columbians and spike the hike? Or do British Columbians need to throw him out like an old, spoiled, stale pack of baloney?
Nice! And there's nothing unparliamentary about that. He didn't call any names. He didn't, there's no unparliamentary language there.
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, let's just remember that every single one of the Conservative MPs in this House today ran on a platform promising a price on pollution. And let's just remember that the BC caucus of that party includes MPs who, when they were in the provincial legislature, voted for British Columbia's current world-leading price on pollution. So Canadians and the people of BC have to ask themselves, do they even know what they campaigned on and what they voted for?
You're talking about a system that was implemented in 2008. It's 2024 and a lot of bullshit has happened. A lot of taxes have been increased. And you can't, what the fuck? There was not anywhere close to this amount of inflation in 2008.
The Honourable Member for Madawaska-Restigouche. Mr. Speaker, I would like to wish you and every Member of Parliament a happy Francophonie Month. Mr. Speaker, in the last budget, our government announced its action plan for official languages with significant measures that include a historic $4.1 billion to help official language minority communities across Canada, including Acadia and New Brunswick. Could the Minister of Official Languages tell us about recent measures announced for the Francophonie Month. The Honourable Minister...
Really, nobody cares right now.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to thank my honourable colleague for his tireless work on behalf of Acadians and the Canadian Francophonie. Our government is making record investments in official language minority communities. Last week, we announced a $62.5 million boost for more than 300 organizations.
And that money is
across
going
the country.
where?
And with these
Or coming
investments, we're
from where?
ensuring strong, vibrant, and diverse communities. I'd like to join my colleague to wish you and everyone here in this house a happy Francophonie Month.
Yay!
From Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands, and Rideau Lakes.
This NDP Liberal government has been trying to cover up the full cost of their $60 million Arrive scam. And after 8 years of this Prime Minister and his NDP Liberal government, they're not worth the cost or the corruption. And he's been hiding the documents, and we've been hearing the paper shredders, but his is due today. So the question is to the Prime Minister, at what time will he respect the common sense Conservative motion that was passed by this House and deliver all of the documents and the full cost of his Arrive scam scandal?
At no time. That's just my guess. At no time.
The Honourable Minister for Public Works.
Thank you.
What?
Mr. Speaker, as many ministers, including the CBS
This guy!
minister, has said no.
This guy! This is the Clocksworth nasal guy with the Lumiere accent.
The Honourable Minister for Public Works.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, as many ministers, including the CBS minister, has said often what happened
Noften?
with COVID-19 when it regarding the application was unacceptable, despite the fact that it was built in a moment at which it was important for public servants to be efficient and acting quickly. Unfortunately, some of the rules were not followed, and there's more work to do, although much of the work...
Some of the rules were not followed. That's an understatement.
The Honourable Member from Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Island, Rideau Lakes.
Well, what the Auditor General asked in terms of information, this government didn't even want to provide. That's why they voted against having the Auditor General investigate this Prime Minister's $60 million Arrive scam. It's clear that after 8 years of this NDP Liberal government that they're not worth the corruption or worth the cost. That $60 million, Speaker, was for outside consultants. It wasn't for public servants who needed to act quickly. It was
contractors.
Rich, being made millionaires. Well,
it was for literal contractors.
At food banks. This Prime Minister's had weeks. He won't stand up, but we've ordered him to provide the documents. At what time will they be provided?
At no time.
The Honourable Minister for Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, from the very beginning, our government has been transparent with Canadians.
Where? Where have you been transparent at all in anything? Holy shit, I can't believe he just said that. Holy fuck.
We've had ministers appear before parliamentary committees. We understand the concern that Canadians have around the appropriate use.
No, the fuck you don't.
And Mr. Speaker, in spite of my friend's pessimism, I don't share his view that this government will always continue to be transparent with Canadians.
Where have you been transparent?
Member from Fort Saskatchewan.
Transparently evil.
After 8 years, the Arrive scam scandal has made clear again that this NDP Liberal government and this Prime Minister are not worth the cost or the corruption. That's right. Liberals gave GC Strategies $20 million for Arrive scam alone. Now, last week, Christian Firth from GC Strategies revealed that he got at least $2,600 per hour for some.
What the fuck?
Canadians are struggling to put food on the table.
What the fuck?
Now, last week, Christian Firth from GC Strategies revealed that he got at least $2,600 per hour.
What the fuck? $2,600 an hour. An hour, you guys. That is fucking a month's salary for some people. An hour!
For subcontracting, Canadians are struggling to put food on the table, and Liberals are giving well-connected consultants multi-millions at $2,600 per hour.
Unbelievable.
Simple question. Do Liberals believe that $2,600 per hour was a reasonable rate?
Wasn't reasonable. The Honourable Minister for Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, as my colleague knows very well, there are internal investigations being conducted.
Oh, yeah, internal investigate. You mean you guys are investigating yourselves.
The RCMP is investigating some elements of this matter. And Mr. Speaker, if at any time people have misused taxpayers' money or contractors have claimed taxpayers' money for work they didn't complete, of course the government will demand refunds as is appropriate.
No, you won't. Refunds? Refunds. That's all you'll demand.
Mr. Speaker, earlier this month, legislation was introduced in the other place, that affirms the Government of Canada's recognition of the Haida Nation as the holder of inherent rights of governance and self-determination. These types of bills are needed as we move forward on the path of reconciliation with Indigenous communities. Can the Minister of Crown Indigenous Relations tell us what this means for the Haida Nation located on the Haida Gwaii Archipelago off British Columbia's north coast?
Nothing.
The Honourable Minister for Crown Indigenous Relations.
Mr. Speaker, this marks a historical milestone for the Haida Nation. It is 50 years in the making, and it would rightfully recognize the Council of the Haida Nation as the government of the Haida people. This long overdue step solidifies Haida's authority, ensuring the protection of the beautiful lands and waters of Haida Gwaii for generations to come. I'm grateful to the nation for their collaboration and the member from Cloverdale, Langley City for this question, as well as his leadership on the INAN Committee. We will keep working to uphold the rights of the Haida Nation, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
That sounded like a nothing answer.
The Honourable Member from Nanaimo, Ladysmith.
Mr. Speaker, for 5 months, the Liberals have sat idly by while 30,000 civilians in Palestine have been killed.
Oh my God. What do you expect them to do?
Canada needs to take
What do you expect them to do?
No one else is killed, not sitting on the sidelines. We need a ceasefire, real humanitarian aid.
Yeah, because Canadian government is going to broker a ceasefire between Hamas and Israel. Yes, 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 yes.
Will the Liberals finally join so many across Canada and New Democrats by voting in support of our motion for peace and justice?
The Honourable Minister for Foreign Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to thank my colleague for her important question. Indeed, we believe in peace and stability in the region.
And how do you plan on brokering that?
We need to make sure that humanitarian aid gets into Gaza. And
yes, again,
we need to get to a humanitarian
as long as Hamas is there, it's not going to happen.
Lasting peace to Israel, and also support a two-state solution and the creation of a Palestinian state for Palestinians. For too long, Israelis and Palestinians have suffered for the fact that we haven't found a solution to this conflict.
No, why do we have to find a solution for it, though? Why can't they do it? Why do we have to do it?
Richmond, Arthabaska. Mr. Speaker, since the Liberal government was elected in 2015, we've been treated to deficits every single year. The country's debt has been exploding, and since then more and more people are worried. The cost of living is steadily rising, federal spending seems out of control, and we've seen various financial scandals, and most recently ArriveCan. My question to the Minister of Finance is extremely simple. Will she finally table a plan to balance the budget when she presents her budget on April 16th?
Oh, don't you know? Don't you know the budget will balance itself?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I'd like to thank the colleague for his question. Our government understands the importance of supporting Canadians.
No, you don't.
And to do so responsibly, fiscally responsible. We are doing this, and we have maintained our AAA credit rating.
Imagine Trump gets reelected and a week later there's peace on the Gaza Strip. That's funny. That's funny. That would be hilarious, honey.
And this was reconfirmed last week. We have the lowest debt to GDP ratios in the G7. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And that is all the time we have today for question period.
Affaires courantes ordinaires. Dépôt de
tabling of documents.
So that was question period. That was the shit show. That was yesterday's question period. Holy fuck. That was insane. That was absolutely insane. I can't believe that. That was crazy. And I wonder what today's question period is going to bring us. Because if Trudeau wasn't there, like, I hate when Christia's there, but when Poilievre and Trudeau get going, it makes for some interesting shit. So I do hope that Trudeau is actually in the House of Commons today. Apparently this morning they were talking about a federal school lunches program, because apparently they want to be just like the States. I don't know why. But yeah, apparently the Liberals and the NDPs want a school lunch program. So I don't know what that's about. Maybe we'll find something out about that tomorrow. But that's going to take us to the end of our stream. I will be playing MK tonight, but I'm gonna go and find some lunch. And I hope you guys enjoyed this morning's shit show. And I will be back tomorrow. I'll be back tonight just on Twitch only for MK. But I'll be back for the multi-stream tomorrow. And we will take a look at this afternoon's question period then. So I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Take care of yourselves for the rest of the day, and I will catch you on Twitch only tonight, probably about 9:30 or so. So have a wonderful day. See you later. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for the multi-stream tomorrow. Bye, everyone.